Perfect.
StreamYard is adding all sorts of new things to the bells and whistles, folks. So
I love this platform. I really do. So I appreciate you introducing me to it. And I thought that since Dr. Ron is new on here, I've been on here a couple of times, and I just wanted to say thanks for coming on. Ron and I have been dear friends for 20 years ish. He's also a chiropractor, and so this is really amazing because you're getting like double the. I mean, I'm 25 years in practice. How long have you been in practice, Ron?
35 years, yeah.
Yeah. So
Doesn't seem like it though. It went by really quick.
Like blink of an eye, right?
Mm-hmm.
So questions that you have, these are great questions that you guys sent in. Appreciate that. And yeah, you've got a lot of experience right here. And while you have us, ask questions, and maybe Ron could give a little bit of his background. And then if you guys have any questions with regards to chiropractic or anything, we're here to answer those. So, and great questions that are already dropped. So how about a little intro, Ron?
Well, I'm Dr. Ron. I've been in practice for, we just said, about 35 years, maybe a little over that. Don't want to date myself too much. Back when the wheel was just invented, made things a lot easier to move around. I graduated from Michigan State University and went down to Sherman College of Chiropractic in South Carolina. The reason why I got into chiropractic to begin with, and we were just talking earlier with Gil before the show started, is when I was 17 years old and stupid, I flipped a motorcycle. It bent me over backwards, and I had some pretty serious pain for a long time. Kind of ruined my senior year in high school for the most part. Until my mom, in her foresight, she's still alive, love her. Hi, Mom. She's there. I doubt it. No, she's never there now. Oh. But anyway, my mom took me to a chiropractor in Southgate, and he took one look at me, took a couple X-rays, looked at me, and it was like one of those miracle adjustments on the table. Put me on my side, brought my leg up, and just kapow. I got off that table pain-free after 6 months. I couldn't believe it. My mom couldn't believe it. My mom started crying. And I'm like, Mom, I'm good to go. And I decided at that time that's what I want to do for my career. So I kind of geared myself to do this. Yeah, because it made such an impact on me.
God, so many people have that story too, that they had a miracle. So many chiropractors have had that story where they had a miracle, which got them into chiropractic. And then I didn't have a miracle story. So for a long time, I thought, gosh, I don't have a story. How does that make me valid in the world of chiropractic? But my story is that I've been able to witness multiple miracles just like that. And so it's really, really cool when we are able to impact people's lives in a way that is life-changing, really. I mean, who knows where you would have been? What's that?
I said, T-Square just said, go blue. I saw that.
She said, go blue. Oh, that's my piece. I said, we won't hold that Michigan State thing against you. So what was our first question?
First question is, what are the best exercises for winter?
So I was thinking about this today, actually, because I was watching your video, Gil, about stress. What do you do for stress? Mm-hmm. How do you manage stress? And I think that this goes along with that as we go into winter. It's really easy to get down, to start to slow down, which when we think about it, we're supposed to slow down. So on one hand, y'all need to respect your body as we come into winter. So stop driving so hard. Take some time to mentally decompress. But it is important that you stay moving. I was out today. We had a beautiful day here. It was probably 45 degrees. Sun was shining. Oh my God. I went out and I did yoga this morning, and then I went out and I took the dog out to the dog park and walked for an hour. So get outside and get fresh air for as long as you can, meaning like into the winter. I think in a sense that if you just stay moving, that's really going to be critical. In general, I think strength training is the key critical component to longevity. But in general, I would say keep moving. What are your thoughts on that, Ron?
Absolutely. And even just as a lifestyle choice, it doesn't necessarily have to be in the winter, but you got to keep moving. We're meant to move. These joints are your spinal joints, everything else. They're joints like any others, your fingers, your wrist, your elbow. They have to keep moving. If they don't, just imagine yourself like if you had an elbow, anybody's broken an elbow or something like that, and you're in a cast, right? And after 4 to 6 weeks, you get that cast off. It's almost impossible to move that elbow. Then you got to go through therapy. If we just keep moving, it makes a big difference, and it's good cardiovascular. It's good for every aspect of your life. Did you lose me?
All right, let's see. We got.
I don't know if you just did a max headroom or if that was my computer or what, but.
Did I?
Okay, got a bunch more people coming in.
Hey there. Yeah.
I'm here.
We got
Yeah,
you.
I'm here. Okay.
I was just trying to go over to Camppatton so I could.
Oh, okay.
So
I think that was you.
Everybody's coming in. Hello. Getting a lot of people coming in. Shawnee Shave, Big Steve's World, How to Garden.
So a lot of times people, a lot of times, especially during the winter, it's hard for people to get moving, or let's say there's a snowstorm, you don't feel like going outside, or, it's too icy, or, I get really, when it's nasty outside, I don't want to go anywhere. So I have a stationary bike. I'll jump on that. I'll throw my yoga mat down. I'll do calisthenics, push-ups, squats, sit-ups. So don't use bad weather as an excuse to not move. You can always move, but just do something.
It's a whole hibernation thing, right? Everybody goes into hibernation with it. I do it myself sometimes. It was kind of funny when the whole COVID thing hit and everything was shut down for a couple of weeks. I was going stir crazy.
A couple weeks? A couple years, but okay.
Well, for me, it was a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Until I figured it out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It wasn't that big of a deal. But anyway, I won't get this channel banned. I don't want to do that. Like defund it or whatever. But yeah, there's an enormous amount of resources. You've got videos that are fantastic on YouTube. Shoulder stretches, back stretches, the whole 9 yards. There's like all sorts of yoga resources on it. There's again, like you just said, you could just drop down and get 20 push-ups, 20 sit-ups, just walk around. It's really easy to do. It's not like you need an enormous amount of equipment to do it. You could just, kind of move around on your own.
And if you guys, I've got a video on my channel. I have some friends in Africa and they live in a remote village. And I did a video on them. He's sending me pictures and videos all the time, but they had to pour concrete into cans and stick a pole in it. And it's all dirt. There's no grass. They grow their own food. They had to makeshift things to keep themselves healthy. And he makes sure the kids are exercising every day. They go running on the beach. I'm so sorry about the dog. He's like knocking his bone around now. But find something that it's really annoying. Is it?
It's not that bad. It's funny.
He did that last time, literally right behind me with the bone. Boy, hey. But I think too, if you just find something that makes you feel good, that brings you joy, just moving, even cleaning the house can be helpful. This is also a great time to get into your closets and start, cleaning out the sock drawer. I just feel like anything that allows you to stay moving during the winter is going to be beneficial.
Okay. CR said, okay, he just did 20 push-ups.
Nice. Good job.
And P Squared's yelling at the dog for you.
Yeah.
The interesting thing here, I took the green screen up. I'm going to try to do something here. This may or may not work. I'm going to see if I can get this to work right here. Go into my settings and see if I can.
Checked off says, do you remember when it was 15 days to slow the spread?
Yeah.
And then 15 more, and then 15 more, and then.
All right, camera. All right, let's see if I can get it to do. It's not going to. All right, so I'm going to disappear for a second, and the camera's going to pop up showing my kitchen. I'm going to run in there. I'm going to turn it around and show you something else, and then I'll be right back here.
Okay.
But let's see if I can make this work right.
Want us to keep the home fires burning here?
Okay, give me a second to run in there.
Well, we can start talking about plantar fasciitis. So, what does he have going on there? Oh, there you go. Oh, there we go.
My Gazelle treadmill. Grandkids are always using this. Okay, did it show it? Did you see the Gazelle in the treadmill?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's so I'll like when I was watching Die Hard earlier, I was on the Gazelle while I'm watching the movie.
That's awesome. Well, my favorite thing to do is pull my stationary bike out on Thanksgiving morning and watch the 2 hours of the Thanksgiving Day parade. Love it. So fun.
Yeah. We had a stationary bike. The electronic board on it went, and right now I'm in the process of converting it into a generator to charge up my battery station.
Makes sense with the whole prepping thing. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's resourceful for sure.
Right now I've tried 2 different alternators on it, single wire alternators. I'm gonna have to get down to like a 5 amp alternator so that the grandkids can get on there and charge it. Because it's like they just love climbing on the exercise equipment. They run around all day long, but can I get on the treadmill? And they get on the treadmill and they start cranking it up and see how fast they can run on the treadmill, hanging on to it.
That's so great. Start the kids young, right? Keep the kids exercising. I think too, especially with kids, there's so much sports for these kids. In my opinion, I think we oversports our kids. They get, you put them into hockey, it's year round, it's every day. There's no break for the kids, for the parents. And I get it if your kid's super passionate and wants to do it, but honestly, again, in my opinion, I don't think 90% of the kids playing sports on that level really want to be playing all year round. I think they just do it because that's what their parents do. So probably going to offend a few people by saying that.
Well, as a scoutmaster, I tell you that one of the biggest problems that is that the parents over sports their kids. Oh, you said you think soccer's neat. Good. I signed you up for soccer. I didn't say I wanted to play soccer. Well, you said it was neat, so I signed you up. Oh, and you got baseball. We signed you up for baseball too, and this, that, and the other. And I've heard one kid, get in an argument with their mom and dad at Scouts. This is what I want to do. I don't want to do soccer and flag football and all that other stuff. This is fun.
Well, and there's no time for those kinds of things when you're driving them into one lane. When I was a kid, it was every sport I wanted to play during the season that the sport was being played. I wasn't playing them all year round. I was able to do multiple things. Now kids are forced to make choices. They can't, there's no summer vacation for anybody because you're constantly on tournament after tournament. There's no family vacations anymore. Your family vacations are your soccer tournaments or your hockey tournaments. We gotta let these kids be kids for a minute.
Oh yeah, it's interesting to see which one of the ones that were in the troop as the third thing their parents were letting them do, and where the focus was on soccer or on baseball or whatever, and the ones that didn't have any sport did whatever they wanted to do, not what the parents wanted to do, and they did mostly Scouts. Well, those were the ones that made Eagle Scout by the time they were 16. The others were lucky if they were able to make Eagle Scout the day before they turned 18. And it's like, look, I have an example of my youngest son. He wanted to do scouts so bad because his older brother was in scouts. He didn't want to do football. He didn't want to do any of the other stuff. And so or Boy Scouts works. There's Cub Scouts, and if you have your Webelos badge and order an arrow of light, by the time you're 10 and a half, you can join a scout troop right then. Otherwise, you got to wait till you're 11. Well, 10 and a half, he joined. By the time he was 11, he had completed the scout qualifications, the tenderfoot, and the second class rank. By the time he was 12, he had first class and star, and I wasn't pushing him. I said, slow down, enjoy this. When he was 14, actually when he was 13 and a half, his school teacher was the course director for the current National Youth Leadership Training for Boy Scouts, NYLT, and told him, I'll give you the waiver so you can come to NYLT before you're 14. He went to it, got so excited about it, signed up to be a staff member the following year. Well, by the time he was staff member, he had everything but one merit badge to have his Eagle. All right. And he wasn't 15 yet. He was just 14. When he got his Eagle when he was 16. He was also part of a venture crew, which is the co-ed part of scouting, a varsity team, which is a specific age group in scouting, as well as Boy Scouts. So he's going to 3 meetings a week. He wound up with 5 Eagle palms. And to each Eagle palm, you have to have above a certain, the 21 merit badges to get Eagle. You have to have, for each palm, you have to have 5 more merit badges. And he was quartermaster staff for 5 NYLT courses. Did he miss any of the sports? Not according to him. Did he have all the fun stuff? Yeah, he did all the fun merit badges: rappelling, rifle, shotgun, archery, basket weaving, wilderness survival, pioneering, swimming, life saving, all the merit badges you can think of that he wanted to do, and sculpture and everything else, and he had a great time at it. But now sports was not his thing, but he was in better shape than most of the kids playing sports because he was out. Oh, he also had the hiking merit badge, bicycling merit badge, the swimming merit badge. And he was in shape year round. We're doing all this stuff. And we spent more time doing winter camping for the troop because of him. Encouraging the other boys, hey, we're going camp. And he just, he made it truly a boy-driven troop.
Yeah, it's that diversity, right? It's the diversity of movement and the diversity of the play and the sport. And yeah, again, if you're just going to play soccer all year round, that doesn't necessarily teach you all the other life skills. Paula had said that she has a lunatic 5-year-old who just finished soccer today, but can't wait to start dance and baseball soon, which is awesome if your kid wants to continue doing things year round, but to have the diversity. So now she's not going to play soccer all year round. So she can actually do dance and play baseball and all the things. So
Little Lone Prepper, in the Mount Diablo Silverado Council, they had Order of the Arrow, but the bigger thing was the Wolfboro, I forget what it's called, but it was a little bit harder to get into. Again, it was a service went for the Wolfboro Scout Camp, and my son got that. And all right, so he's now 24. He spent most of his summer up at Scout Camp. The Scout Camp was shut down to be rebuilt this summer. He spent most of his weekends up there, even a couple full weeks off work up there rebuilding the Scout Camp with the other members of the Wolfboro Pioneers. That's what it was, the Pioneers. They were up there doing that. And but yeah, there are a lot of things. Okay, CB has a question here.
Yeah, I was looking at that. So I guess also the question would be skin biopsies. Why? So this goes back to the previous lives that we've done. Are you taking vitamin D? Are you taking enough vitamin D? We talked about vitamin D last week. We talked about vitamin D in depth on my live last Sunday. So you can refer back to those. At least 5,000. If you and we also talked about last week, do you know your vitamin D number? And that number should be over 80. So first of all, find out your vitamin D level if you're having skin issues. Second of all, don't use things on your skin that have chemicals in them, because often the correlation is that people who have skin issues and have cancerous lesions on their skin is because they've been using chemical products on their skin for many, many years, whether it's sunscreen or body lotion or your soaps, your lotions, shampoo, anything that can get on your skin. So you want to look at eliminating that. And then just from a healing perspective, coconut oil, calendula cream, you can buy calendula in a cream at like Whole Foods or the health food store. I like to take that and keep it in the refrigerator. And so when you put it on a lesion, it's cold. So that's what I would do for that. The other thing is silver gel. Argentine silver is excellent for healing. Everybody should have silver in their prepper bag, because silver, the liquid silver, is excellent for topical. It's excellent for nasal spray, throat spray. Oh my gosh, it's miraculous for anything. And then the last thing I would say is if you have an aloe plant, crack a little piece off and put that on there. So did I cover all that, Ron? Did you have anything to add?
That you actually added two things from what I was thinking. So
what was new to you, or what was the two things?
The silver gel.
Yeah. Silver's miraculous.
Yeah.
Well, and I grew up, my mom had aloe plants all over the house. That's what we did. We didn't use chemicals on our skin. If we cut ourselves, she cracked off a piece of the aloe and squeezed it onto our wounds. We used that for everything. So get an aloe plant. I mean, aloe is like incredibly healing. You could use it, if you get pimples, you could use it on blemishes like that too. But check your vitamin D levels.
Very important.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so easy to do. And it's so easy to fix. And it's so important. So, yeah.
So it's like it's the key to everything, right? I mean, my trainer texted me the other day. She said, "Hey, where should my vitamin D level be?" She's my personal trainer, and her D was only at 45. And so it's so common. Even people who you look at, you're like, oh, wow, they're in shape. They must be really healthy. But man, if your vitamin D levels are down, you're in trouble. What?
If anybody doesn't know what kendo is, look it up. Okay. Look it up.
I'm looking
at it. It's a martial arts.
Okay. The sword way.
Yes.
Okay.
It's the bamboo. Kendo is bamboo swords.
Okay. Oh, okay.
It's not soft.
Oh yeah, I think I've seen this.
Yeah. The kendo swords they're in the whole thing, and it's done like the Olympics. It's a competition.
Wow. Very
strict rules and stuff.
Silver is good for burns also, Paula, for sure. Anything, any skin condition, the silver and the aloe as well.
Yeah. I don't know what happened for Courtney coming up to help moderate and keep an eye on the chat here. So I'm trying to keep an eye and bring up other stuff here if I need to, but
I'm watching it too. So I haven't seen any stalkers yet, or trolls. I forget what you call them.
Don't worry. When you look at the YouTube side, it's all. Actually, tell you what, I'm gonna get. I think since you trust her so much, I'm going to give P² a rank.
I was just gonna say, if you want control over the chat, give Paula a wrench. That girl is like, she's like, I just have these visions of her just waiting like this and just
Okay.
she wields that wrench.
Standard. There we go. Standard moderator. Save. Okay. But yeah, it looks like my side chat looks like Smurf Village. It's all blue.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, your chat it's on my page too. So it's literally simultaneously streaming on both sides now. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
So what we talked about, we had another question on plantar fasciitis.
Yeah. So basically, come on, there it is. So what is what is plantar fasciitis? What can we do to prevent it / fix it?
Ron, you wanna start with that one? You want to start on that one?
The bottom of your foot, it's basically called the plantar area. Fascia is connective tissue that is below the bones, surrounds them. It's easy to get it irritated, and basically when anything itis means inflammation. So if you have plantar fasciitis, it's like the tissue on the bottom of your foot is inflamed. Now, how people deal with it, there are many different ways to do that. There's anti-inflammatories if you want to go that route. There's also some exercises that would help with that. Should probably be more adverse than that, and then some supplements. But basically, it's just inflammation of the bottom of your foot.
That's like tendonitis in the foot.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people have problems with tendonitis because of shoes. When you think of
improper footwear.
Improper footwear.
Probably 90% of the time.
Yep. And then they go, well, I'm going to get a cushier pair of shoes. Well, that just makes it worse.
It does. It just,
Yeah. And Ron, you probably hear this where your patients are like, my podiatrist told me not to wear shoes in the house or not ever to go barefoot. Well, that is the most unrealistic thing to tell a human. And if you want to heal your plantar fasciitis, you have to go barefoot. You have to teach your feet to know
to flex,
to tell your brain, where you are in space, right? Mm-hmm. And so I do a lot of gait training with people. So if this is the foot, and I'll just have you stand and balance on the foot. Well, what happens if this is the inside arch is that most everybody, when they have a problem and their brain's not connected to their feet, is they lean in on the arch. Well, if you do it enough over time, your brain starts to get more stable and it starts to take on the outside portion of the foot out here, which is where it should be. That's where the stability is. The arch is just a spring. That's all it is. It's there for balance and it's a spring. Where you should be landing is on the outside portion of your foot. So if you stood up, if you just did that test and you just lifted one foot, bare feet, and watch your foot, and your ankle's going to shake and your foot's going to shake and you're probably going to feel like you're going to fall. And that's all training your nervous system. That is your brain trying to figure out where you are in space so that it can keep you well balanced.
Yeah.
The more you do that. What's that, Ron?
Proprioception. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You have to retrain your brain. We lose it. And again, we're in these big cushy shoes. We're being told not to go barefoot. Go out, go barefoot, go into your grass, get into the grass, and earthing is a huge factor when it comes to healing the feet and the body. I go out, even it's 30 degrees, I go out as late as I can in the season. I wake up every morning and I walk outside in my bare feet and I look up at the sky. I get that light, the morning light into my eyes, which helps to flush all the sleep hormones. I'm outside, it's freezing cold, but it feels amazing. Like I've gotten used to this. This is my morning routine and my feet are flat on the earth. They get cold after a few minutes, so I come back inside, but it's still getting that energy from the earth right outside first thing in the morning is really helpful. But train your proprioceptive, get your nervous system trained up.
Okay. I'd like to step in on this a little bit too. My wife is an accountant, so you don't need those $275 Red Wing boots to go to work. Get these $39 ones up here at Walmart. Well, after a year and a half of wearing those, of going through several pair a year, about every 3 months, they were just wearing out because when I was working construction, and I developed plantar fasciitis. And my chiropractor at the time said, well, he was spotting, and he goes, "Hey, you need to get out of those boots." So he recommended a foot person.
Podiatrist.
Yes. You go check her out. She is a good one. Went over there. She was like going to a chiropractor just for feet. She worked feet. She stretched, worked, twisted, did everything stuff. And she said, "Yeah, do not ever wear those boots again. Get a good pair from Red Wing, Irish Setter, or Carolina boot." So I said, "Write that down as a prescription for me to give to my wife, the accountant." She goes, "Oh," and she wrote it out. And once I was back into Red Wings again, it started helping. She gave me some exercises and some things to do, and it's just absolutely fabulous. It took about 9 months to get it totally gone, and to get me my feet and stuff back to where it was back when I was a teenager doing acrobatics and dance.
It takes a long time.
Yeah. Yes, I did dance. I did tap and ballet.
Wow.
As a teenager.
Wow. You want to show us a little something, something?
Like I was telling Ron beforehand, I had 3 bulging discs, 2 protruding discs, 1 flippy floppy disc. They're all getting back into shape and stuff now, but I don't want to throw them out.
A flippy floppy disc. I think that was a board question, wasn't it? Flippy floppy disc. Didn't we need to learn that term for boards?
That was National Board Examination Part 3, I think.
Yeah, Part 7. Yeah. Yeah. So I think from a prevention perspective, the other thing too is that no one stretches their feet, no one stretches their calves and ankles. I've got a couple of different videos on my channel showing how to stretch your feet, how to stretch your ankles, how to stretch the back of the calf. There's 2 muscles back there. You got to stretch them both, because those muscles come down and they cross underneath and go underneath the foot. So the tighter your calf is, the tighter your feet are going to be. And a lot of people will end up with heel spurs, but heel spurs are not the cause. What happens, again, if this is the bottom of your foot and that fascia, the tighter and tighter it gets, what happens is it starts tugging on the bone of the calcaneus, or the heel bone. And so over time, it starts to tug, and eventually you end up with a bone spur. So bone spurs are that comes way after. And so recognizing that, always take care of your feet, stretch them well. This is why I do yoga. Yoga is incredible for stretching out the feet and the ankles and the legs and the whole body. But and of course, forcing you to balance on your foot in your bare feet to make sure that your proprioception is sound.
One of the things that I wish I could remember her name, the podiatrist, but she said probably one of the biggest contributors to plantar fasciitis is stiletto heels, because it stretches where all day long your foot is going the wrong direction, and then when you try to do it back out, everything's used to being this way, and now it's trying to overstretch everything to go flat again.
Yeah, high heels in general. Any kind of a heel. A lot of people can only wear a small heel because they're so tight. Their heel cords are so tight that they're never going to get their heels straight down on the ground again.
Yeah. If you don't mind, I want to show some of the things that my chiropractor and my podiatrist had me doing here.
Sure.
Let me adjust this down a little bit.
Are you going to tap dance for us?
No, I'm not going to tap dance. I am going to show the stretches they had me doing. So the first thing you do is have me lean against the wall, and then put 1 foot back and slowly take the heel to the floor. If it gets too tight, stop. If it hurts too much, bring it forward a little bit and do that. And then switch and do the other one. And after a while, they had me going back where I could put both feet back, go all the way to the floor, and the lower I could do it, the more I could stretch the back of my the back of my calf, and everything.
That's like a wall version of downward dog.
Yeah. And so, I mean, I was getting it back to where I was when I was, like I said, when I was doing acrobatics and stuff. But, and then, you know, get down there like that, it's up again. Once I start getting down, then they said, all right, once you're down to a certain point, then you move the hip to the side, and you move the hip the other side, and then you just roll the hip in and out and the lower back and stuff, and, you know, to stretch everything, keep it. You can't do it fast, so you're doing it slow, so it's more gentle on all the muscles. That's what they had me doing.
That's a great stretch, and I also think, yeah, it's just great practice to do every day. When people come in my office, first of all, I always say I'm chief janitor. I wear all the hats. So I have everybody take their shoes off when they come in the office. People are they walk in, they take their shoes off. When you come into my home, I ask you to take your shoes off. Mostly because I'm a little selfish in the fact that I don't want to have to mop up the office every day. But also, I'm trying to instill in people that get into your bare feet, get grounded. You know, you don't have to be in shoes all the time. And then, of course, the other thing I put you on my tables. I don't need your shoes all over my tables all the time. So I just like to keep things clean, but in that same respect, it offers me the ability to have these conversations about getting your bare feet more often for good foot health. But a lot of podiatrists are out there saying, don't ever be in bare feet. I've had patients tell me that. And I'm like, no, get your shoes off. It's okay. We're going to do some activities. I'm going to show you how to do this so it's safe, so we don't flare it up. And so I start to change that for them.
Honestly, it's like the best thing in the world. If you're wearing shoes all the time, it's going to change your whole biomechanics. It's going to start in the feet. It's going to go up into the lower back, and it's going to go into the thoracic spine, and it's going to go into the cervical. Your body is a biomechanical unit. It adapts to the damage that it has. So, you know, honestly, you know, shoes, yeah, you know, work, walking around, house, outside, no.
Let me go get something. I'll be right back. You guys go ahead and talk.
Okay, sounds good. We have a couple of people in the chat are saying they just want to be in bare feet all year round. And I'm the same way. If I'm not in bare feet or if I have to go to a store, I just got like a slide on. I hate wearing shoes. It's just not my thing. But also,
no
like
shirt,
today,
no shoes, no dice. You got to wear them sometimes.
I know, right? I guess so. Well, like I took the dog to the dog park today, but I wear my hiking boots because it is uneven terrain. And the beauty of I guess this also could play into plantar fasciitis. So I walk the field. It's like a half a mile, and that can be a lot of strain on the bottom of your foot. So my hiking boot is a stiff sole. So it's actually more supportive when you're on uneven ground to be able to wear a stiff sole, so your body, your fascia is not overstretching to try to walk on terrain like that. So if you're like, oh, I can't walk long distances, try to get a good hiking shoe with a stiffer sole. And you know, if you're walking trails or things like that, you definitely want a good solid shoe for something like that.
Interesting you say about hiking shoes and boots and stuff. When I was the Scoutmaster, I wore the same boot I wore at work construction, a Red Wing 8-inch top boot of high laces up. In that work boot, I could outrun every scout, including staff members at the scout camp. But say about going around barefoot, you know, and stuff in the house. Somebody made these for me. It's just knitted slippers.
Those are great.
And so
is there a sticky on the bottom? Is there a little tread on the bottom? Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's just so I don't slip when I go into the kitchen.
Yeah.
And so I wear this around a lot in the wintertime. And if I'm ever thinking about I need to go out to the shop or anything, I wear this or a slipper. You know, it's I mean, it gives me a little more, especially on the Gazelle. This gives me a little more protection than this does for the little bumps on the Gazelle foot thing. So, but yeah, this, there's, granted, this really, it's almost like, walking on in sand. So, but that's what and I love these, especially on a day I know I am not going outside.
Well, and even when I'm in the kitchen cooking, as much as I love to be in bare feet, I have my Croc slides, and there, some version of this, and it's got a molded footbed, it's got the little nubbies on it. They're super comfortable, so it does prevent a lot of soreness on my feet if I have to, because I have hardwood all through my house, so I definitely need that little bit of support if I'm going to be standing in the kitchen all day. So it's okay to support, just, again, be smart about it, right? So I don't want anybody walking away going, Dr. Paula said I should never wear shoes in the house. I mean, if I'm canning or I'm doing, something, I'm cooking dinner, I probably have my slides on.
One of the things I forgot to mention is that in my Red Wing work boots, my podiatrist had me come in and molded and took a cast of my foot and had an insole put in that was, to make my foot stand where I'm supposed to be at, So, I tell you, that thing is so comfortable. First time I put it on was like, that's a little odd. But after about a week or so, it's like, okay, I'm never going to wear a boot without these in it. It just, my whole, everything just sort of straightened out by that. Helped tweak me right. All right, just cool slippers. Yeah, the knitted ones was made by I'm trying to remember what it says from when White Family Farm did the weight challenge, and she knitted them for all the participants. But the brown ones are from are the Eddie Bauer slippers at Sam's Club.
All right, I want to teach you guys about shoes for a minute, because this is also a big deal when it comes to plantar fasciitis and foot issues. I hear this so often. Ron, you probably hear this too, where people are like, I was told to wear Hoka's or New Balance because I have a wide foot and they have wide shoes. So they go into the shoe store, the running stores, and they say, fit me for a shoe. And they're like, oh, you have a wide foot. So let's put you into a 9 wide New Balance. Well, the problem isn't necessarily that you need a 9 or a wide shoe. The problem is the shape of what's the last of the shoe, the bottom of the shoe. So I'm going to show you. So this is a pair of Vans. Look how cute these are. My daughter bought these for me. They have peanuts all over them. Can you see that? Aren't they adorable?
They're adorable.
Aren't they great? Thank you. Okay, so I do wear these, but if you look at them, so the last of the shoe is the bottom. It's the best. I'm trying to get in front of my camera. The bottom of the shoe. So this is a straight lasted shoe. So it's relatively straight along the bottom of the shoe. Then you see this one and this one. This one curves. Do you see how it kind of curves off a little bit?
Uh-huh.
So that's called a curved lasted shoe. So the last on here is curved. The last on the other one is straight. This is kind of a slight, this is like a slightly curved. So there's curved, slightly curved, really curved. This is slightly curved, but mostly a straight lasted shoe. So when you figure this out, what happens when you hit your heel hits and you come down, especially if you have a flat foot, and your foot's gonna wanna then go to the outside. So what you need is a curved shoe, because the shoe that your toe's gonna want to go to the inside, not the outside. Sorry. So you want a shoe that curves inward so it accommodates for when your toe goes inward. So that's mostly how a flat foot mechanics is gonna go. So it's not just about getting a wide shoe, because so many people will say, yeah, I went and I bought these wide shoes and they still hurt my feet. It's because you needed a curved last and not a straight lasted shoe. New Balance and Hoka's are straight lasted shoes. All they are wide. So for people who need a curved last, and you only know that because I'm telling you that, and now you have to go and start looking. People in these shoe stores, they don't tell you. They don't tell you. I've gone in there and just sort of tested the theory. They don't even know what a curved lasted shoe is compared to a straight lasted shoe. So now you know, and you're gonna go in there. I would definitely say if you have a high arch, you could go with a straight lasted shoe. But if you have a flat foot, you're probably overpronating, and you probably would benefit from a curved shoe. I've been wearing Asics for 30 some years, and they are a curve lasted shoe, and those are the ones that fit me best. So put me in a Nike, and my feet, that first joint in my foot starts to hurt like crazy.
Okay. Just checking the chats on the side and see what's going on. All right. So Northern Girl Hobbies wanted to know if Ron has a channel with videos on it.
I don't. Just never really occurred to me to do that. Basically, I'm here just as a color guy for Dr. Paula. She's the brains of the outfit.
The color commentary.
Yeah. She's Pat Summerall. I'm John Madden.
Ron is the color commentary. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
He has made me laugh so hard. Oh my God.
That last seminar.
Oh my God. We have so many stories.
My face hurt for like 3-4 days.
Oh, it was crazy. It was so crazy.
One of the problems I have with getting my shoes, and that's why now the only shoes and boots I'll buy are from either Red Wing or Carolina Shoe. It's because I take a 4E.
Wow.
And
that's amazing.
And I have squeezed into a double E in Irish Setter because Irish Setter runs wider than most. But I tried ordering a pair ones from a company, I'm not going to name it. And they said, this is our extra wide. It's equivalent of a 4E. I put it out. I couldn't get my foot in it. It was so narrow.
Yeah.
Where was it made?
China?
Not.
Oh.
Yeah, you can say it. I just wasn't good. It was made overseas where their feet are tiny.
Yeah.
And it's like so many companies now are going to, it's either narrow, medium, or wide. It's like, wait a minute.
It's very kind.
It's like, wide on these companies is like a 1E or a D even. And I take a 4E. Two of my scouts took a 6E, size 16 6E shoes.
Oh my God.
When these guys started scouts, they were 6'3". Yeah, at 11 years old, they were 6'3".
Wow.
They grew another inch in the next 5 years.
It was like the average size of an NBA player back in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then of course, don't forget, if you look at the bottom of a shoe and you're like, well, that looks like a straight last, but maybe that shoe has a heel. That heel makes up for that. It almost negates whether it's a straight or a curved last. But yeah.
Okay, now I'm not
gonna show it to us.
You got to show the bottom of it so you can say what you think it is.
Damn, I don't have any shoes to show.
Oh, okay. That is slightly curved. Slightly curved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the Carolina boot, and problem is everyone seems to think you got to have some sort of stuff. I like the old Red Wing electrician boots, almost practically smooth, but they were the material was oil slip resistant, and they just had some thin lines across to give you traction. I never track mud in with those. These things, I gotta make sure I wash them off before I come in.
See, I like a lug in my and probably because a lot of women's shoes, I mean, it's ridiculous. First of all, they make women's shoes that are these like petite, narrow little things. And then it'll be a winter boot. They'll put a heel on it and then make the bottom of the sole like non-tread. And I'm like, for real? Like, what do you think someone's carrying us? Like, what in God's name are we supposed to do with that? They're just the most unpractical. Like, whoever is designing women's shoes, like zero practicality.
Yeah. The thing I don't like about the lugs is that if you're in any gravel, guess you're tracking the house. Any mud at all, oh yeah, you got to take them off and hose them off before you can do anything with them.
But see, you're assuming that I would let those boots in the house.
Well, I mean, even to get into the back door to change into the slippers and stuff there in the mudroom, and now the whole mudroom floor, it's like, okay, you got to mop that up or just clean up when you just came in. But yeah, when it comes to I'm very after 60 some odd years, I'm very particular of my boots and stuff and shoes. I just wish Tony Lamas made some a little bit wider.
That's a Western boot, isn't it?
Cowboy boot, the original.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, Hike Homestead. No shoes in the house. No dogs allowed.
It's Hugo, or just call her CB.
Christy Betts says, I always said fashion designers hate women. For real? It is so true.
No, fashion designers are psychological manipulators.
Yeah, right?
Oh, this is the newest. It looks good. You'll love it. You will love it. You will love it.
Nothing to see here. Move along.
Oh, no. Or, of course, then they're going high tech. Flash. You will love it.
Ron, did you see Gil's Men in Black flashy thingy?
Okay.
No. Where am I?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So her she's CB, and it's Huga. It's Danish for fun, enjoyable.
Oh,
so,
lovely.
Fun homestead.
Nice. Huga back.
Or just CB. It's time to rumble. Okay. All right. So how we got? All right, we got that says 17 watching. Okay, so I got a question for everybody out there, and especially those are channel members of either channel. All right. One is yes. Actually, let me see. Actually, it's going to be two. So let me do this. I'm going to take a little quick break here to cover this because they need information. All right. So we're addressing the staff sergeant, and the question is, how much would you think is reasonable for a membership level if it included one video a month from the staff sergeant, aka my wife? So so either 1, 2, or 3. One is so regularly on Camppatton Family Compound, the base one, the camper level is 99 cents. Would $1.99 be reasonable? Would $2.99? And the reason I put $5.99 because anything under $5, $4.99 is the automatic for gifting memberships. They don't let you gift the lowest one. So, can I
ask a question?
Yeah.
So what is it a 2-minute video? Is it an hour video? Is it the
last video she did there, I had to break it in half. It was 45 minutes.
Okay. So it's designed to help people do something.
Yeah, she did mainly she do gardening, maybe do some accounting basics, setting budgets and stuff like that. But our house in California where she's still living, while I'm getting the Idaho property ready for her to retire too. Has no lawn. The lawn was yanked out years ago, and it's garden in the front yard, orchard, and garden in the backyard. And so, she grows so much stuff. It's just oh, Garden State Gardener's in the house. Oh, he's Ubering. So Joe is out there making more money. And so, she's done the part 1, part 2 of her urban garden tour. She's come on a couple times here to talk a couple times. But she goes, she's being the accountant. She goes, why? You're doing just fine on your own. Why do I need to come up all the time?
While Garden State Gardeners tuned in, I do want to say I'm going to be on his channel a week from Sunday for Sunday Fun Day. I'm not going to say who the guest is, but he has invited me to be a co-host for a really incredible guest. And Joe, you have no idea like the honor that was to be asked to do that. I did share the information with Dr. Ron, and Ron's I
really am so excited about it. I'm having a hard time just not blurting it out right now.
Yeah. So I'm gonna, and I don't, Joe, I don't know if you put it out on your channel yet or not, but I'm not gonna say anything because I don't know if you have, a rollout of who this person is. But listen, from a health nutrition perspective, it's gonna be good. You want to be tuned in. Make sure you go to Garden State Gardener. Make sure you subscribe, hit the thumbs up button, hit the bell. Do not miss Sunday Fun Day a week from Sunday. So
followed by Pierogi Monday.
Followed by Pierogi Monday.
It's huge.
It's huge. It's huge. Like crazy. Huge.
When you told me, I'm like,
right? What? Well, and here's the thing. I told Ron who it was, and Ron was like, what? I had shared it with a couple other people, and they're like, yeah, I don't know who you're talking about. And I'm like, oh my God, it's not even exciting to tell people exciting news when they have no idea who you're talking about.
I think my exact words were GTFO.
Right? Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. When I told anybody else, it was like, wah, wah, wah.
All right. We got, okay, hang on. It says your guest, Julia, has is on Android Chrome, which has a bug that causes echo. Google's working to fix it. For now, please ask the guest to wear headphones to avoid echo or use a different browser. Let's see what happens when I bring Jujubee up.
Okay.
Do we have an echo, Jujubee?
I got my Joe Rogan's on.
Jujubee. Oh,
yeah,
I do hear an echo.
All right.
Okay, hold on.
Ditch me. I'll get my earbuds. I'll come back.
Okay. I'll just drop you down. All right. So back to the my question is, would anybody be interested in those that have channel memberships, especially on Gray Man Prepping? It will be included in the Gray Man and Survivalist levels if she does videos on Gray Man Prepping. But for Camppatton Family Compound, which is the gardening channel, which is where she most likely would be doing it, channel members, would you be interested in upgrading to a upper level, like say $1.99 or $2.99 to get the staff sergeant Chris to come up and do a video once a month, or possibly a live once a month? So it would be, put a number 1 in for the green one, number 2, etc. If those are acceptable to you, something I can go back to and say, hey, people want to see you. So let me know what you think, and or just put a 0 in there if you don't want to be a channel member. Of course, I already know you don't want to be a channel member because you're not a channel member. All right, so she's trying to get set up here. Lori just got ads. The Queen of the North just got ads. In case Jujubee just totally dropped out. So, let's go back here. Spoiler alert. Not sure what CR's saying spoiler alert for. Okay. Here she comes again.
I think Paula's muted.
Paula, did you mute yourself on your end? Okay, what's going on here? Let's see what's going on. I hear a slight echo still.
I think there's a problem with my phone.
Yeah, that's what it says.
My earbuds are in and they're not connecting, but I'm connected on my phone.
Yeah.
Is it bad or?
What I'm hearing is not too bad. Side chat, how bad is the echo?
Like, I could ask my question and show you and then mute and hang up.
All right, let's see if I, okay, Paula just muted herself. Unmuted. All right, Paula, go down to settings. Click it and click on audio and see what your mic volume is doing. All right, and let me do something here. Okay. And yeah, it's not working there. I tried to increase your mic volume, Juliana, but it won't let me increase it. And Paula's, let's see what I can do going into the back stuff here. Edit mic settings. And it's not letting me edit mic settings. Oh, wait a minute. There we go. Okay, Paula, say something. Nope, still not doing it.
Yeah, no, she's still out.
Yeah, she's still. All right, go ahead and ask your question, Juliana.
So I'll ask my question and I'll hang up because I can text her. I have these lovely Ritchie braces, custom orthotics on the bottom. And long story short, I fell a year and a half ago. Can you hear me, Dr. Paula? Thumbs up.
You're very soft. I tried to bring up your volume.
Okay. Someone's telling me to be louder. What? So I fell a year and a ago, and snapped the giant rubber band that keeps my foot attached to my leg. Had surgery. They had to reattach everything. And I have these. Ortho in New York says wear them every time you do anything strenuous. Ortho in Walter Reed says never wear them ever again. My doctor says do what you want. And I'm like, I don't ever want to wear anything ever, but I also don't want to fall and die. And I have loose ligaments, joints, possible Ehlers-Danlos, whatever. Just gravity hates me and I fall a lot. So just was curious if you have any. I'm like, I don't want to be a slave to them.
I don't even really know what to say about that.
They told me there's too much movement in my ankle on the side to side, and I have loose joints. I rolled my ankle and I fell and I snapped the major ligament. And 6 months prior to that, I had fallen walking down the street and tore my lateral meniscus on the opposite knee because my joints just do whatever they want. So I'm just curious if you have any thoughts on loose joints, what to do, what not to do. I have my Brooks, since we're all showing shoes. There's my last. But anyway.
You still can't hear you, Paula.
Yeah, Dr. Paula, so still
Yeah, you may need to, it's gonna be a long type.
Maybe if she goes out and comes back in, I don't know. I could hang up, so maybe I'm the problem with my
Just
Android.
a second, let me try something here. I'm gonna drop you down and bring you back up, Paula. Yeah, it worked now. Okay. Wait. She thinks she found it.
Sounds like animal, vegetable, mineral.
Why am I don't want to record. No.
There we go. There we go.
Oh,
There we go.
You're on. Yep, you're back.
Yep.
There we go. There we go. There it is. There it is. Okay, testing. You got me?
Yeah, we got you. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what something my roadcaster stopped for some reason. So okay. I'm back.
Probably, yeah, but you got an echo, but you're back.
You're echoing too. You're echoing.
Hang on.
No, you're
watch this.
echoing.
Now we're not
You're the
echoing.
echoer.
You're the echoer, not me.
No. It's Juliana's phone, her Google phone, her Android phone.
Testing. Echo
Yep.
or no echo?
No echo.
Okay.
It was Juliana's phone. She's pointing to herself.
Ron, do you want to start with Juliana?
You know, the conflicting advice that you're getting is really kind of baffling. I would think that there would be some sort of a consensus after the trauma that you suffered, and the treatment that you went through. I'd be a little hesitant to even give any kind of advice on that right now, just because it seems like it's very odd that nobody would know what else to tell you to do. Like, don't wear this, and then do what you want. I mean, that's so yeah, I would be hesitant to give any kind of advice on that. I'm sorry. But yeah, that's a toughie. Feel bad for you.
I would say that you're saying everything's loosey-goosey. What I was trying to ask before I rudely interrupted myself was you said something about Ehlers-Danlos. Did you get tested for that?
I am dealing with Army doctors that say, well, there's no treatment for it, even if you have it, so we're not going to test you for it.
There isn't, but it's also an absorption issue. And I'm going to say, just based on some things that you have shared in previous chats, that I'm going to go back to maximize your body's ability to absorb the nutrients as best you can. There are a lot of nutrients that you can take that would be helpful to tighten up the ligaments. But I think we were talking about this earlier and you weren't on yet. And especially if you're somebody that says, I fall a lot. Ron, I don't know if you've experienced this, but when I have a patient that says I fell a lot, I always ask, did you crawl very long as a baby?
The instability factor that comes out of not crawling enough and then going like either into like one of those hoppy thingies or the little wheel thing that they put kids in, they roll around. Yeah, that's a lot of times. I bet you 90% of the time, I don't have any studies to back me up, but I bet you 90% of the time that is part of it, if not the majority.
Yeah. I mean, how many patients do you come across when they say I'm clumsy, I fall, and yes, that you start digging into that and they're like, oh yeah, no, I have always been like that as a kid and I didn't really crawl for very long, or I was in the jumpy seat. We want, and listen, I said too, I put my kid in the little dish to use just her legs. It's not normal to only use your legs when you're supposed to be using your arms and hands. The crawling is a reflex and it's designed to build certain neurological pathways that help you with balance and coordination so that you don't become an adult and say, I'm clumsy and I fall a lot. But you got to make dinner. Okay. Like I get it. I had to throw her in there. I had to make dinner. But a lot of people keep their kids in there for way too long, or they throw them in the jumpy thing that you know, I don't know, it hangs from a thing, right? And then they can,
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we only used that for keeping the kids from crying. If they were crying, you know, if they were crawling around, they're fine. They do something, they're fine. But all of a sudden they start crying. The only thing that would quiet them down is either we got to carry them, or you put them in the bouncy thing, and then they're giggling and laughing for 10, 15 minutes, and then they start crying, and that means they want out and they want to crawl again. We were lucky; they like to crawl.
I didn't crawl. To hear my mom, I rolled and I scooted on my stomach, but then I just up on Christmas Day walked across the room and never stopped again. So I was never crawled. I just up and walked, and I wouldn't call myself clumsy, but I'm walking, and my joint just gives out. It's not like I'm fumbling. I don't know where my feet are. My footing's not right. It's just I'm walking, and all of a sudden my ankle's like, we're not doing this. Or my knee went sideways. Like it's just moving in its joint in a way it's not supposed to every time.
Yeah, you've got to retrain those patterns. I would say definitely do some proprioceptive training, you know, balance, coordination. Yoga's great. I mean, I always tell people, I'm like, I could give you some exercises to do, but just go do yoga because it's all the things in one class. But you know, you start to get your brain retrained. Again, it's proprioceptive. Where are you in space? And if your knee joint, for example, if the brain is sending like, you know, is kind of sloppy signals, and then you step on something and then the knee's out there before the brain's like, oh shit, we gotta catch that knee.
And the instability factor of this is it's very serious. It can lead to further injuries. Ladders, stairs, it's a real problem. Being unstable like that, it makes you prone for other injuries later in life. So.
And that's why they gave me those braces, because it still allows the forward and backward of the ankle, but it doesn't allow the ankle to go sideways. And that was the reasoning for it. So.
How about you just train your body to do that?
I'm working on it. Just tell me what to do, ma'am, and I'll do it.
I do have a handful of videos that talk about gait training, balance, coordination, just standing on one foot and balancing. And that could be the simplest of things. Just stand on one foot for a minute a day, you know, or a couple minutes a day, and see how that changes. When you start training neurologically, you would be really surprised at how quickly your body responds. And you start to see a shift really within a couple, 3 weeks of how much better you're balancing. So, yeah, I mean, a lot of what you have going on, Juliana, it's pretty multifactorial. So I mean, to Ron's point earlier, it's like, it's hard to give
there's a lot going on here.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's difficult to give a one answer to that question.
No worries. I trust Dr. Paula. So I was like, if he has any ideas, I'm listening. That's what I'm saying. You are a doctor, but you are not my doctor. This is just general advice. You're not talking to me personally for all the universe and
talking to all the people. Yeah. But
Hypothetically
I would do things that challenge your balance, challenge your coordination, get into your bare feet. I don't know if you were on when we were talking earlier about plantar fasciitis, but get in your bare feet and just stand and pick one foot up and see how long you can balance. And a lot of people are like, well, I can't do that, and I fall. Yes, you're going to fall. So allow yourself to fall. Not fall, but if you think you're going to fall, put a chair next to you.
I put a chair there and I hold it, and I'm down to one finger now.
Nice. Perfect. Okay. So you just keep doing that and try to extend the time, and then do it as many times as you can throughout the day. And then, working on some of the nutrition issues that you mentioned before, improving absorption, improving gut issues. But if you got Ehlers-Danlos, that's a big matzo ball to be dealing with. And it's a tough situation to deal with, but put all the other parameters into place. There's still things you can do with your health that will improve your overall health.
they told me I'd be in a wheelchair 5 years ago and dead by now. So,
Oh, well,
like you gotta
There you
think,
go.
if I fall down, like it is what it is. So I'm just
I
saying,
love that you proved them wrong.
I'm down from 13 prescriptions to 2. I'll take it.
I freaking love.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's why I said I put it in the chat earlier. I bought these amazing cheese stuffed peppers this week at Aldi. They were delicious. I loved every minute of them. I, for whatever reason, didn't bother to read the ingredients, and it was sunflower oil. Guess who can't move her elbows, and everything is inflamed and off the charts right now. And I'm like, dang it, you know how to do this. You know better. You know exactly what the problem is. And I had like 6 of them. Like the rest of the jar went in the trash.
Listen, I'm proud of you for just having that level of awareness, because so many people don't. And I get duped. Still. So it's okay. It's going to happen to the best of us, but just stay aware, right? So keep learning.
I got 3 kids. Going home to die and lay down and die is not an option. So, and that's basically what about 7 years ago they told me to do. 80 pounds later and 10 prescriptions, 11 prescriptions later. Like, I will. Watch me.
Good girl.
Incredible. That's an incredible spirit.
Yeah. Good girl. Nice to see you, Juliana.
Me and my echo are going to go away now. Bye.
Okay. All right. Good to see you,
Juliana. Yeah. Well, now it explains my childhood.
Oh.
I was born back in 1957.
Okay.
All right. So they didn't have those bouncy seats. They didn't have those wheel things. They didn't have none of that stuff. And so we were my brother is 2 years younger than I am, and our cousin is right in between us, and another cousin is a year old. I mean, we were all Rugrats, literally. We were crawling on everywhere, and of course, we had the old-fashioned dining room table and stuff, where it's they had the 2 pipes on the side and went up and curved out for each corner, and a lot of room to move around underneath. No center pedestal, nothing like that. And we were constantly under chairs, everywhere, constantly. My mom was getting so frustrated with us not walking. But me and my younger brother now, we worked, doing roofing and stuff. We're walking across there, none of the safety gear, because we're steady as a rock, just walking on a 2x4 across the peak and down the sides and doing stuff. And everybody else is kind of wobbling around a little bit with the safety gear on, trying to hook on and stuff. We're like, because we didn't walk until we were almost 2.
Yeah, that's great. And people are like, it's like a badge of honor to, my kid walked at 9 months. Well, your kid's gonna have some trouble when they get older. So, stop forcing your kids to walk. Yeah. Let them just. They're gonna walk. They're not gonna crawl forever.
Yeah. And then let's see.
When
we were 7, I was 7. He was 5. My older brother was 10. We started tap dancing. So.
Tap dancing's excellent for the brain. That's really good brain exercise. And to your point, Ron, yeah, you figure it out. Like when we talk about pregnancy and, doctors are like, well, if you don't go to labor by 38 weeks, we're going to induce. You really think that baby's going to stay in you forever? How about you just let nature take its course?
It's just, been happening for a millennium, right? It's gonna happen here.
I'm kind of thinking, yeah.
Happened to the gal down the street and down there too. It seems to work.
I mean, just saying.
Okay. I may get dinged on this and have to take this out, but I got a video I want to put up here just for laughs and giggles about this. I'm going to mute that down, make that big. All right. You said tap dancing is excellent?
Yeah. Oh, is this you?
No. I wish.
This is amazing.
I wish I could dance.
This is amazing. Oh, yeah.
This guy is,
man.
look at this. Total control. of everything. And I bet he did not walk till he was almost 2.
But I will tell you this, as fantastic as it is, Ginger Rogers did the same thing in heels and going backwards.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
right. Yes. Oh my God, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's incredible, man.
You know, my father's brother, my uncle Arnold, looked just like Fred Astaire. I swear to
Really?
God. Yeah. I always thought of him every time I would see that that one Christmas thing.
White Christmas?
No, it was the like one of the Julius Bass things with the oh gosh, what was it? I think it was like the story of Santa Claus or something, right? The Holly Jolly Christmas thing.
Oh, Santa Claus is coming to town.
You know how
he was the postman.
Yes, exactly. That's it. You look every time I see that, I think of him. He's been gone for quite a while. I miss him. But
the interesting thing, and you want to see someone who kept in shape, really old, is him at one of the Oscars with Bob Hope. And Fred Astaire. And Bob says, well, you've never danced on here on the Oscars, have you? And he put on a show, and you could tell he was a little bit winded, but it was, it was intense, almost like in his heyday stuff he did. And he got a standing ovation. But yeah, anyone, if you can keep that type of coordination moving and move like that all the time,
got to keep moving.
You know, you're.
I mean, I don't know, how did he come up with this with the coat rack, right? I mean, that's just crazy. He probably just picked it up one day and started to, because I mean, back in that day, that's probably just your garden variety coat rack, where today they would have made a coat rack that would be specially weighted to do whatever,
Oh, he did the firecracker dance too that one time. He was like tossing firecrackers down, lighting them with a cigarette, and it was incredible.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. But,
that kind of coordination is unbelievable.
Yeah. Actually, let me see if I can find it. I got to share this one. I just love this one. Fred Astaire at the Oscars. Yes, this is the one. Get it going here.
I got to go look up the Ginger Rogers video.
Yeah, you just Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers when it comes out. Okay, I got. Okay, I'm getting the circle of death there. Okay, it's coming. Okay.
Circle of death.
It's
Dick Van Dyke.
What's that?
Lori just made a comment. The guy from Mary Poppins, Dick Van Dyke. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Dick Van Dyke.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm not doing a sound on it, but you got it's got the captions on.
Is this what you were talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Where you get them to dance?
Yeah.
These guys were just.
I gave it up last year. That's why I don't do things that go on forever. For instance, I used to be able to. I can't do that anymore.
That's great.
Yeah, if I remember right, he's in his 70s doing this.
Maybe even older. When you think about it.
I'd have to look.
He's been around. His heyday was like the 40s, 30s, and 40s.
Yeah. So this was Bob Hope. That one. I'm thinking this was Oscars in the 70s. There he goes. But I'm watching mainly his ankles and his knees, and what
That's amazing.
Look at those. Look at how fluid his lower body is.
It's incredible. I mean, you think about the flexibility, right? Because he moved his whole life, and people just lose that flexibility.
Yeah, and if you pay attention to his hands too, he curves his fingers like this because he thought his fingers were too long, so he curved them so they most of the time when he's out.
Oh,
out
that's
and about,
interesting.
yeah, like he used to do it a lot, and he had to break himself with the habit of it. A couple of moves there, he was doing it. I just saw him doing it.
Yeah. Closed fist. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, that is something that Danny Kaye was.
What do you think? You're thinking he was 70 there? 70s?
I don't know. I'll find out here in a second, but look
He's
at
got to
him
be at
go.
least 70. Yeah.
I mean, look at that. Jeez,
Look
that's
at that
amazing.
go, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that, you kidding me? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just a great,
Impressive.
just keep moving.
1970 Oscars. Okay.
So
give
how
me a
old was he
second
there?
here. I'll look at Happy right now. Come on, fingers work right. Fred Astaire. Born in, so he was 71.
Wow.
He was born the same year as my grandmother. So he was 71 at the Oscars, moving like that.
Savage air guns. No lady ever said a man's fingers are too long.
Said no one.
Hey, Savage, haven't seen you for a while. How you doing?
Oh,
but
that was really funny.
But you said okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna play the videos, but you guys want to see people moving. There they are, Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers. This one here, if I get is that was some of the stuff she was just dancing well past the time that you should be retired, not doing anything.
Yeah, just another testament to keep moving.
Yeah.
Don't stop moving.
Yeah.
I mean, Ron, you walk every day.
Again. Yeah.
What's that? How far do you walk every day?
Going again. I do. Yeah. I do.
How far do you walk?
3 to 4 miles, depending upon how early I get up.
So what do you do when it gets do you walk all through the winter?
Yeah.
You crazy, baby. You crazy.
Crazy. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Where I live here is all, it's all maintained, sidewalks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I've got a route planned out.
I think Chekhov has a good idea here.
If I fall and I can't get up, where's it at? I can push it.
Paul, I fell.
Yeah. Can you come
Dude, I'm an hour from you, okay?
Yeah.
I don't even know. What do you want me to do?
All right, well, I can just lay here for a while then, I guess. I think a school bus stops over there in 2 hours. I'll be okay.
Hey, there's a man sleeping on the sidewalk.
Mommy, there's that man again. Don't look, honey.
He's homeless. That's okay. They all sleep in the street.
Why is he waving weird at us?
So true.
Yeah. Most of a lot of my hard exercise in the wintertime, the last couple of winters, has been snow shoveling.
Do you have a snow blower? Or do you snow
I
shovel?
I got a snow blower. I got a tractor. And but around the back patio, it's just snow blower is not optional for using back there. And so I shovel that off constantly, till the spots with the ice built up on it. But yeah, the shoveling snow was a lot of the work there. But I did all three. I would shovel along the house, get it out into the middle, use the blower as best I could to clear out a bigger area, and then get the tractor out there and push the big piles I made with the blower out of the way.
I think Jujubee has a better exercise option.
Yeah, I know. I read that too.
You see it,
great.
Ron?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do. That's great.
That's good, Jujubee.
Yeah.
Kind of
That's-
is. I mean,
that's
because Ron's out walking in 10-degree weather. I like your option better. Inside, warm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's good. It's it's good for the blood, stimulating.
Well, that ties into there was an
Oh,
article.
Walking or the sex? I don't know. Sorry.
Both.
There was an article about the cold and tying into the swimmer, the one the one that did all the gold medals and stuff.
Michael Phelps?
Yes, and how he swam in cold water all the time. They heat the pool at the Olympics a bit, but all his practice stuff was in cold water. And he was eating an insane amount of food,
Yeah,
like 10,000
crazy.
calories a day,
Yeah.
yet he was skinny. And what they were finding out doing some tests and stuff is that cold triggers the body to burn more calories. You don't sweat it off. You make your body build it to bring your body up to temperature. And cold water and ice baths and stuff like that is supposed to help. But unfortunately, I have a problem that if I get cold like that, the muscles in my back they start to contract at different points, not evenly, which causes there goes the back.
About keeping moving too, right? When snow happens here in Michigan, and depending upon where everybody else is, but also now one day it's just here. We got 10 inches of snow. It just comes out of nowhere. And sometimes you get like a day or two warning, which is usually pretty inaccurate for the most part. So here you're out there shoveling snow, maybe 8-10 inches. This is why keeping moving is so important, because if you do nothing and then all of a sudden you go out and try to shovel 10 inches of snow, that's going to be a problem in so many different areas. You got cardiovascular issues, you got pulmonary issues, and you got again, musculoskeletal too. So, if you keep moving year round, you'll be more prepared for that kind of a scenario, as opposed to just getting out of the recliner and all of a sudden, 10 inches of snow.
Yeah. Well, that's why I have the Gazelle there and I have the treadmill. But what I did in the bedroom at the foot of the king size bed, I got a weight bench, and it's not a bar thing, but it has a thing where it has the curls on it, and I got the leg lifts on it and stuff like that. And so I work out on that too, especially when the grandkids are over, because they drag me in there. They make me start doing the leg lifts, and then they jump on me, and then they jump on the legs. Lift us too. So instead of going from doing 25 pounds, now I'm doing 65-pound leg lifts. But yeah, grandkids will help keep you moving and exercising quite a bit, especially when they're under 10.
I just became an empty nester, so I'm good for a while. So yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Brenda, Duncan 1900 Homestead has joined us.
Hey, Brenda.
Yeah.
Now the other thing too with cold and all these cold plunges and it's another bandwagon thing right now. There's definitely benefits to cold. It actually burns your brown fat. And it does have like long-term metabolic benefits. So it is great. It is great. But again, this is one of those things where I tell people, I'm like, respect your body. That is not something for me to do a cold plunge. Now, if I do a hot yoga class, when I do a hot yoga class, I take a shower right after, and I do take a cold shower because I'm so hot and that cold water feels amazing. And that's that metabolic shift that you're looking for. But just like on a daily basis, I'm going to go outside and do a cold plunge. No, this girl's not doing that. No, she's not.
I'm sorry. I'm not a member of the Polar Bear Club either.
No. And I feel like also that I feel like that's one of these things that has given people permission who don't do jack with their health to go do a cold plunge and think it's going to be the be all end all. That's the first thing. And then also that, if you're doing that, you don't have to change anything else about your diet. but then also make people feel guilty if they're not reaching their health goals and they're working their butt off, that, oh, it's because I'm not doing cold plunges. So that's my issue with cold plunges. I'm not saying they're bad. I just feel like it's how social media has blown up cold plunging that it has become like almost like an unhealthy mindset. It's given people the wrong mindset for what it is and what it should be used for, in my opinion.
I can see the science behind and it's not, I like the science behind Michael Phelps. It's not a cold plunge into ice water. It's cold water that the body can tolerate and then working out in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. I went to do, Jujubee said I want to do want to do a polar plunge at least once. I loved cryotherapy. A friend of mine, so Ron, Dr. Larry Weiss, I went into his office one time and he had the cryotherapy thing. And he's like, you gotta do it. It's amazing. And it's 3 minutes and it's like, I don't remember how cold it is, but you guys, if you ever done it, has anybody ever done like the cryotherapy thing where it's just the cold air? Okay, so they put gloves and then little booties on you, and you get in there freaking naked. And it was the worst 3 minutes of my life. And afterwards, I got dressed and I went out, and he goes, that was amazing, wasn't it? I'm like, no, it wasn't. No. And I never want to do that again, ever. So I'm like,
Larry,
no.
You're banned from the lunch table at the next seminar.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, no, we're not doing that. It's kind of like, this could be kind of controversial. The Y strap. I'm sure, Ron, a lot of people ask you about the Y strap, this chiropractic adjustment thing.
Oh, yeah.
And I had a friend of mine do that on me, and it was horrific. It was my worst experience of my life. Maybe not quite, but it was bad. And he did it. It was hurting when he was pulling and tractioning, and it locks your jaw so you can't tap out. And he didn't give me a bell or anything. And I was trying to wave my hand to tell him to stop because I was in pain. It was hurting. And then he yanked, and I got this like fire-like zing to my toes. And then he released it, unstrapped me. I'm sobbing. And he's like, oh my God. He's like, what happened? And I go, you happened. And he goes, my patients love it. And I'm like, no, they don't. They are lying to you.
No.
They are lying to you. Okay.
Just stop it. No, that's not a thing. This is not a thing. I was on the board of regents for my chiropractic college that I graduated from for 15 years. And I reviewed curriculum for all those years. This is not taught anywhere.
Where did that come from, Ron?
I have no idea. That is actually very dangerous. And every time I see a video about that, I'll go into their thread, their comment thread, and write, this is not good. This is not taught anywhere. This man is dangerous, or this woman is dangerous. Stay away from this. This is how somebody dies when they get hung.
Right. Yeah. You separate the freaking spinal cord. It is a frightening thing.
Yeah, it's just like,
yeah. And you're right. It's not taught in school. So I don't understand how people aren't losing their licenses by doing that.
I don't know either. But they should be, frankly, because that's just, that's insane, honestly.
Have you ever had it done to you?
No.
Yeah, no, you don't. You don't want to.
I would never let that happen to me.
My patients love it. No, they don't.
Yeah, no, they don't. Yeah.
They just can't speak. They can't talk. They say it's afterwards. They can't talk.
It's like part of human nature when you pay somebody $55 or $100 and they do something to you, they tell you it's going to happen. It's like part of human nature to say, "Oh yeah, that was great," because I'm not stupid enough to pay $100 for somebody to do that. Right. It's just kind of like a psychological thing,
Yeah.
I'm like, they just leave and never come back. That's what happens.
Wow, you fixed me. That
was great, Doc. I'll call you for the next one. Sure.
Number one. You're number one. That's insane.
Oh my God.
Just when you're talking about some of the cold stuff and everything else, brought back a comical scene of my brother back when we were working construction back in the 90s. And California weather is unique. Even in the summertime, you can have ice cold regions in California, mainly South San Francisco. Mark Twain said the coldest winter he ever spent was summer in South San Francisco.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the
Anyways,
truth.
we're driving Highway 4, which goes east from San Francisco, the Oakland Bay, up to a place called San Andreas. Anyways, we're coming back, and that area is near the Delta. And you get tule fog out there really thick. And when the tule fog rises and then a breeze picks up, we've had ice built up on the mirrors of the trucks. And so we're on our way back at night, evening from the job site up there. And he goes, I got to take a leak. So he pulls over into one area, and gets out there. And he's out there moving and wiggling. And finally, he seems straightened up. Gets back in the hill. I was like, what took so long? It's so freaking cold out there. I went inverted. It just.
I used to go jet skiing in the Delta.
Mm-hmm.
Dated a really cute boy when I lived out there, and he had jet skis, and we'd go jet skiing out there. And
summertime, though, right?
Oh my God, yeah.
You don't want to do
I
that
loved
in
it
the
out
fall
there.
or winter.
That was fun. That was a fun time.
Yeah. Let's see.
That was I think I was in college still, like undergrad college.
Prepper 101 is firing it again.
My third honeymoon. Now, is that the third marriage, third honeymoon, or is that a third honeymoon you took with one wife?
No, third.
Okay. Are you collecting marriages? Is that how that works?
Don't get him started on his mother-in-law.
Okay. Which one? 1, 2, or
Any
3?
of them. Current one, I think. What Bill say here? I used to do scuba in the Great Lakes, even with a full wetsuit. It was cold.
Oh my gosh.
You hit the thermocell, and very cold.
Oh my gosh. Wouldn't do it today. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Scuba in the Great Lakes. Where was it clear enough? I guess Lake Michigan's pretty clear. Which Great Lakes did you go in, Bill? Where have you been, Bill? You came in early on, and then we're just seeing you. You're just like watching and not commenting. You're usually a little more active.
Yeah, he's behaving himself.
He's behaving, yeah. Third marriage of 9. 9 marriages. What?
I think he's trying to compete with Betty Davis with all the number of marriages she had.
Was it Betty Davis or what's her name?
I think
not Betty Davis. Was it? How many did Betty Davis have? No, what's her name? Oh, come on. Dark hair. She Revlon, L'Oreal, beautiful actress. And she had like 7 husbands.
Yeah.
Married one of them twice.
Yeah, I thought that was Betty Davis.
That was.
Was she married to Richard Burton one time?
Yes. Who was that?
That's I'm looking at the most.
Elizabeth Taylor. Yes.
Yeah.
Liz Taylor.
There you go. Yes.
Actress with the most marriages. Yeah. Elizabeth Taylor, Zsa Zsa Gabor, Rita Hayworth.
Yes. Yeah. Gear Garden 19 says the number 1 cause of divorce is marriage.
Yeah. So Zsa Zsa had 9 marriages.
Wow.
I
always say, just because you're with someone doesn't necessarily mean you need to marry them.
Seriously.
I know, right? Yeah.
Seriously, that takes some deep perspective.
Linda Taylor, whoever that is, holds the record for the most married women 23 times.
What?
23 times.
How old was she? I mean, I mean, come on, you really can't get married until you're at least what 16, 18 or something like that if they waive the rules.
No kidding. Are you like, is it
so
once a
then-
year?
Hang on,
Yeah.
I'm trying to look her up.
It's like the time change.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, and then of course I always say, okay, I'm a single mom, right? My daughter's 19. Then people are always like, when did you get divorced? I'm like, I was actually never married. And I'm like, there's this thing that happens. Like you can actually get pregnant and have a baby and you don't have to be married. Like there's a thing. So biologically that works like that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah. So he's competing with Zsa Zsa Gabor.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. She had how many? 16?
No, not Zsa Zsa had 9.
9. Okay.
Let's see if I can look up Liz Taylor here. I know she had Liz Taylor was married. More. Let's see the more here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 times.
Who was that? Liz Taylor?
Liz Taylor, yeah.
8.
Con-
Okay.
Yeah, Conrad
She
Hill-
married, was she married Richard Burton twice? Or she married
Yeah.
somebody twice? Okay.
Yeah, sure. So Conrad Hilton from 50 to 51, Michael Wilding from 52 to 57, Mike Todd 57, 58, Eddie Fisher 59, 64.
Oh, that was a long one.
Yeah,
That was 5. So was Michael
but that was a
Wilding.
marathon. Let me tell you.
Yeah. Woo.
Richard Burton 64, 74. That was the long one. Then remarried him in 75 to
She had a whole 10
76.
years?
Huh?
She had a whole 10 years?
Yeah, 10 years of Richard Burton. Then had a year of break, had another year of Richard Burton. Then married John Warner. That was 6 years. And then Larry Forensky for 5 years. That was the last one. And he looked like he was probably young enough to be her grandson.
Oh, wow. Go, girl. Okay. Uh-huh.
You know, after 9 marriages, you would think that maybe some self
Control.
reflection would be like, maybe it's me. You know, I don't know.
Yeah, a serial marriager. And, well, here's the thing. If I got together with somebody who's been married 3 times and they asked me to get married, I'd be like, I don't know. I'm not quite sure that the odds are in my favor on this one, let alone somebody who's been married 6 times and then they want me to be the 7th.
Yeah.
That's when you pull out a
10,
document,
baby.
have them
Going for
sign
10.
the document.
Give it 10.
Yeah, prenuptial agreement. If you decide to divorce me, I get incentive to stay married.
Well, maybe that was part of it. I don't know.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah. Yeah, some people just can't be alone. That's true. But you don't have to actually be married to like be with somebody. It's just kind of I'm just thinking that's a thing. Yeah, she was addicted to weddings. 7th time's a charm.
Didn't work for Elizabeth or Zsa.
Yeah, so Lori's got a really good question. And I think it's pretty much out of my scope as far as like a congestive heart failure thing.
Oh, what'd she say?
And it sounds like it's stage 4. And it can just vary. I've known several people in my career that have had congestive heart failure, and it just varies upon a lot of different factors. But it's probably anywhere. You know, I've known people to live for 10 years. I've known them to live for like 10 months. It's such a wide varying discrepancy with the congestive heart failure. So many factors that come into play with it. But I'm sorry that's happening to your friend.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
But it is. I don't think anybody can really answer that question.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like a cardiologist, but even then they're probably going to give you the same stats that I just did.
Well, and again, without knowing the backstory too, right?
Right.
Like,
Right.
we don't know that person's history.
How long has it been?
Yeah. Yeah, smoker, not non-smoker, autoimmune issues,
It-
prior
Worked at a brake
meds.
factory or something,
Yeah.
yeah, fireman, something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
There's like
chemical
there's like so many
exposure.
things.
Yeah. Yeah,
But it
that's
sounds
not-
like it sounds like it's stage 4, and it's just that generally not good. So
stubborn mule.
Is that another way of saying he's a jack?
Been trying to get him to the doc for 4 years. Healthy besides fat. So wait, are you saying he's fat? Is that?
No,
I
besides,
don't mean to make fun of that statement, but it's kind of funny the way you said it. Sue said, I'm assuming SU. I don't know if that's male or female. I'm thinking it's female.
Suladine is a female.
Okay. Been single for 14 years after 33 marriage. It happens. The pool is about a 1/4 inch deep. It's not very deep. So
true.
Unless you're a multi-billionaire, then the pool becomes very deep.
well, yeah. Yeah. But it's the quality of the pool. The quality of the pool is a 1/4 inch. The quantity of the pool is probably very, very deep.
But then it
Hey,
could be a whole
Moon,
bunch
how's it
of
going?
Yeah.
So, you never know.
He's he's my best friend. Yes, he's fat. Oh, that's too bad. That's too bad. Lymphedema. Yeah. Yeah. Did we have any other questions? Was there another question that?
Those are all we covered the questions that were emailed to me. And I'm trying to think if anything, what else anything else we could touch on, winter exercise, dancing, I think is probably, oh, yes, there is. I have another answer for that, but dancing is a good, if you have a partner to dance with and start doing the ballroom, or you can do like my niece and nephew do. They do jitterbug swing.
Ooh, that's fun.
Even still, they're both married, but they get together and they do jitterbug swing in front of all the kids. And some of their kids are full grown, and they're like, yeah. Oh, I think someone's firing shots across somebody's now.
Come on now.
All right. Something else for a winter exercise. Going back a few years, but it's still out there. It's still available. They're still putting them in. I want to use the proper socially correct term here for assisted living homes or older single homes, community things. The Wii.
I kind of missed that. What's the question?
No, the question is, I'm saying is, one of the things to keep fit is getting a Wii.
Oh.
You can pick a Wii up.
Yes. Yeah.
The Wii Fit with the dance things on it, the mat.
Yes.
You have the outdoor wilderness mat. They have the balance board things, and they have all the other stuff. You got to move around and try to catch the ball and everything else. And then they have the dance step one where you step on it, and do all the different fun things like that.
When my daughter was younger and we got a Wii, she was 5, 6, 7, something like that, and that's what I did for a workout. But then we would do it together on a Saturday and Sunday morning, because wherever I wanted to go didn't have daycare, but I wanted to exercise, and so we did that together. And she thought it was just some fun that we were having together. And then she would, every once in a while, she'd stop. I'm like, no, keep going. Let's go. Like, Mommy needs a workout.
I just want some good animals.
Yeah. My wife is hoping that they can hire some more accountants and stuff, so she's not having to work on the weekends, where she can get back into her Zumba as well.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Dance
I
Dance
never got
Revolution.
into
I
Zumba.
remember that. My daughters did that. That was so much fun. Yeah, with them. I did it with them. And this was like a million years ago, because now they're adults and stuff. But yeah, we did Dance Dance Revolution. It was kind of fun, actually.
Yeah, super fun. Idaho Garden Girl asked, what to do about sarcopenia? You want to start with that one, Ron?
I am drawing a blank on that. Sarcopenia.
So, well, sarcopenia occurs as we age. We lose muscle as we age. So, and one of the things.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It was a board question, I'm sure. Go back into the bowels. So yeah, we lose muscle as we age, and we need muscle for our immune function, just about everything in our body. The problem is we tend to do things, we don't use our bodies enough, and so we don't preserve our muscle mass. We are in a fat loss, we're in a weight loss crazy society. So everything focuses on weight loss, does not necessarily focus on fat loss. However, nothing in our society focuses on muscle gain. So if we could focus on, and this is, if you guys ever look up the work of Gabrielle Lyon, Dr. Gabrielle Lyon, she's freaking amazing. She's a medical doctor, and she just actually wrote a book called Forever Strong. But she talks a lot about muscle centric health versus fat loss or weight loss centric, right? So a lot of people are focused on weight loss. We should be focused on muscle centric, muscle gain. So strength training, anything that builds muscle will overall increase your metabolic rate, which will then naturally start to help you to lose the fat. But if you go on a weight loss diet, you lose, you could have two people the exact same weight and they look the same. One person could have more muscle than the other. And so you have what we call skinny fat. And skinny fat people can be very, very unhealthy, metabolically unhealthy. So sarcopenia is one of those things you must maintain and preserve your muscle mass. You've got, and especially women have very weak upper bodies. We've got to be doing strength training for the whole body, especially the upper body.
Okay. I got something showing us. Okay, so on Gray Man Prepping, it shows 7 watching on Gray Man, and on which means there should be 9 watching on I like the way YouTube's line. It says I got 16 watching here. It says 6 watching on Gray Man, and or on Camppatton, 7 watching on Gray Man, and then you have people watching on yours too. But I found this. I looked it up. So studies show.
I've got Gray Man. What's that?
Yeah. So studies show that sarcopenia can be reversed. Muscle loss decreased. Healthy diet and reasonable exercise can reverse it and increase the lifespan and improve quality of life. And another question here popped up: can a 70-year-old regain muscle mass? Seniors who work at it, however, can still gain make strength gains. I'll get my tongue untied here. Research shows that even into your late 80s, your body has the potential to build muscle mass.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So so hope is not gone for us, folks. We can do it.
You must. So, and I'll just tell you a quick backstory about me. So I've always been active. I've always exercised. I've been in the gym. I was a personal trainer for a million years. I taught aerobics. I mean, this has been my life literally since I was a teenager. Well, a few years ago, I got into boxing and kickboxing, and I loved it. And it was, it was such a passion. And I was doing that, 3, 4, 5 days a week, doing yoga. Also, I was mountain biking, pretty darn active. And then something happened. I don't know. And something happened in 2020. I don't remember, where I couldn't do the things that I wanted to do because places were closed down.
That was the invasion of the Red Dragon.
It was the invasion of the Red Dragon. Yes, it was. And so but the boxing gym stayed open. So all I was doing was boxing and kickboxing. I couldn't go do yoga. And I started to feel weak. And I was like, what is going on? And I realized that like my muscles, I mean, there, can I flex? Okay. So the muscles in my arms were getting like loose. Even though I was doing all this boxing and kickboxing. And I said, man, this isn't right. So I actually ditched the boxing, went back to the gym, and I started lifting weights again. It's coming up on 2 years. I gained 2 pounds of muscle mass in about 9 months. It took a long time. It took a really long time, maybe 7 months. But it took nothing, the weight, the scale didn't move, nothing shifted. But it was about 7 months, 8 months, something like that. And I dropped about 14, 15 pounds, and I gained 2 pounds of muscle, but nothing moved. The needle did not move for months. So it's really easy to get frustrated and give up and go, this isn't working. I was working my butt off, but I knew I was feeling better, right? I was feeling stronger, but I couldn't see it. It wasn't measurable. So you just have to like, just do it, have faith that ultimately it's going to happen. But so you can lose fat, you can lose a lot more fat, you can gain a lot more fat than you gain muscle. It's really hard to gain muscle. So when you do it, don't go in expecting that you're going to like gain as much muscle as you're going to lose fat. It does not work that way. So you just have to start pushing the weights.
Yeah, CB, I wish we had a swimming, like a 4 foot deep swimming pool to do laps in. That'd be absolutely fantastic here, but don't have one. Unless I find that winning lottery ticket laying somewhere on the ground, ain't gonna get one.
Oh, there's the swimming pool comment. I didn't see that. Silver sneakers, yeah. Well, I have a good friend of mine. I saw her last night at an event, and she was telling me she's my age, 56, 57. And she said, I'm taking tap. You should come and take tap with me. And I go, I'd love that. That'd be great. And I said, where are you doing it at? And she goes, don't laugh, but I'm taking classes at the Heartland Senior Center. And I'm like, oh my God, we are that old, aren't we? That we can start taking classes at the Senior Center.
Just wait till you get the AARP card in the mail to want you to join.
Oh, dude. I've been getting the AARP card since I was like in my 40s. I mean, yeah, I throw that shit away every time it comes. I'm like, no, I don't need an AARP. Okay.
Well, I mean, eventually it kind of works out for us. You're going to get, get discount here, discount there.
I guess so. I'll be looking for the 10% off of my big boy breakfast.
Red Naps. That's where you got to go.
Red Naps. Oh my God. Bill Naps.
Bill Naps. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
You get a free birthday cake, but you got to go on your birthday.
There you go. Yeah.
You have dinner at 3.
Oh my God. Or like these people. So we have a place here called Frankenmuth, and Frankenmuth is famous for their fried chicken. Okay. Now, personally, I think it tastes like complete garbage. I'm like,
it's all deep fried stuff.
It's tasteless, battered chicken, fried chicken, right? It's horrible. And I know people, and Brian, you probably do too, who are like, oh, it's my birthday. We're going to go up to Frankenmuth and get our free chicken dinner. And I'm like, and it's like a 2-hour drive. So people will drive 2 hours just to get free, bad fried chicken. I just don't get it.
Or it's like,
right, I think
your birthday
that
like 20% off or something, and it still costs you $90.
Right? Yeah.
I think Joe missed this while he was Ubering.
Joe, you missed it. We talked about this. Hold on. Let me do a quick recap. Let's do a quick recap. All right, Joe. So not all shoes are created equal. There is, if you look at the bottom of a shoe, this is a slightly curved shoe. This one is straight. Okay, so not all feet can take a straight. This is called a last. Not all feet can take a curved last. When you go to get your feet, you go to a shoe store, like a running store, and they fit you for a shoe. If you have a wide foot, they're just going to put you in a wide shoe. But you may need, if you have a flat foot, wide flat foot, you probably need a shoe with a curved last, not just a wide shoe. So oftentimes people will say, just get Hoka's or New Balance because they're wide. That's not true. So it just depends on your foot. High arches can usually have a straighter lasted shoe, but if you have a flat, wide foot, you probably want more of a curved lasted shoe. So it's hard to say exactly which one, but you have to know, because even the professionals at the shoe store do not know this information. But not just wide, not just wide. Oh, you have a wide foot. Yeah. Is it flat? Do you have a flat foot too, though?
Joe used to be a wrestler in high school.
And so also, but though for walking and exercise, two different things. So
he says flat.
Flat, yeah. So you might need a shoe that has more of a curve on the bottom. That would probably be better for you. And then you're going to want a shoe that it helps with pronation. So there's a I don't have my running shoes here, but at the back you'll see. Let me grab my running shoe, and we'll do show and tell.
And the other thing she mentioned about when you're at home, barefoot in the carpet.
Outside.
On the hardwood.
Pretty much any place that you can.
Yeah. Or Joe, I'm trying to remember who it was. Was it Garden? Was it Garden Warrior Q that made that knitted the slippers for us? These things are great too. It's almost like being barefoot.
That's awesome. All right, so this is my running shoe.
Yeah, hold it farther back away from the camera.
Yeah, I think it's like the green screen thing.
Yeah, the green screen.
That's my green screen. I know, but my other ones were working fine. Let's see.
Yeah, it's green.
Okay, should take the green screen away. Okay, so you see this my shoe had it. Okay, there we go. Good. All right. So it has a slight curve, right? So it slightly curves off. Okay, so that's a curved lasted shoe. I have a wide flat foot. So I don't need a size wide. I just need a medium that has a curved in the last. This particular shoe, so pronation means that when you step, your foot collapses inward. If you have a flat foot, you do what's called overpronating. Somebody asked a question earlier, what causes bunions? So hyperpronation, so overpronation, so flat feet can cause bunions. High arches can too, if you're trying to, your foot will like turn inward to try to compensate, it's trying to become more stable. So that's what causes that. So if you look on this shoe here, I have no idea where I'm at. There's a little plastic thing. You guys see that plastic thing there?
Uh-huh.
That's called a pronation support. So what that does is that helps to keep my foot from collapsing inward. So that protects my overpronation. But I also have an orthotic in here. Yeah. And that's a custom molded orthotic. So I will wear this if I'm walking, if I'm running, if I'm going long distances. Sometimes though, I wear my Crocs. I'll wear my Crocs to walk around festivals. So I don't always wear those. If I'm lifting, I'm doing legs, I want to be more stable, I will wear my wrestling shoes because they don't have this is a big cushy sole. It disrupts my proprioception. Okay. There's too much here for my brain to comprehend where is my foot in space and on the earth. So I'll wear a super flat shoe that has like no support if I'm going to be lifting weights. And that gives me more stability and it just helps my strength. So I hope that helps, Joe.
Yeah. Yeah. Last year, Joe, it was so sad. Joe just gotten all his garden planted, huge garden, and he tore his Achilles.
Ouch.
Yeah,
Ah.
and yeah.
You probably then want an orthotic, a custom orthotic, something to keep that stable, and then balance on one foot. I'm a big fan of. Yep.
For robot knees, is there a better shoe, not sandal?
I don't know what a robot knee is.
That's her loose knee. So that's Lori. I'm not sure what robot knees is either.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard of that.
Is she referring to like a knee replacement?
I think she did. Yes, I think.
Oh,
she
okay.
has. Yeah.
All right. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I remember back to chat. Yeah, she mentioned about knee replacement. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I would say
replace
same
knees.
thing, right? Same thing. Yeah, replace knees. Yeah. Yeah. So it's all about trying to maintain as much stability. Try to do it naturally yourself.
Oh, I like Brenda saying.
I was just reading that. Yeah.
Yeah. Put shoes on me and I trip all over myself and be the last one in line.
That's awesome. Oh my God, that's so great.
All right. And Big Steve says he loves he's a big fan of yours. So
Thanks, Big Steve. All right. See you, Joe. Joe, do you do trivia on your rides?
he's done amazing things on his ride. I can't remember who it was from one of the shows that he picked her up and stayed with her most of the night, driving her around and stuff. She did videos for his YouTube channel and everything else.
Was that I think it was 90 Day Fiance, didn't he? Is that
yes.
Yeah.
And he's talked to people on rides and stuff. Oh yeah. Like last year when Courtney was doing the Halloween thing with the pumpkin carving, he talked about that. We got people talking about it. Yeah, White Family Farm's the greatest. He gets people to do shout outs and videos.
Oh my gosh, that's so great.
So
when he and Courtney started that new channel, so that's exciting.
Yep. And they got some good interviews coming up on Tuesday. In the morning, they're being interviewed by somebody, and in the afternoon by somebody else. They're doing the interview. So Steph says, I wear socks around the house when I garden. I wear cheap garden slip-on from Western Chief. Only put shoes on when you actually have to leave the property.
So true, right? Yep. Yeah, we'll be watching you, Joe. Yeah, we miss Courtney tonight. Courtney sent me a link to their show last Sunday, and I did my show, and I had gotten off. I took all my makeup off, and I was in bed, and then I checked my email, and she's like, "Here's the link," and I'm like, "Oh, girl, I'm in bed. Took all my makeup." Like I had no idea. So I'm thinking I got to reach out to her, see if she wants me to jump on with them this Sunday. Yeah. But Joe, if you're I know he had a ride. Okay, all right. I'm going to tell you guys, this is so exciting. So we're talking about like health and winter prepping. So, and I don't know, oh, Joe, you're still here. Okay. So I need to know, Joe, how you got Dr. Caldwell Esselstyn. Okay. For anybody who does not know him, I mean, like legit, he is he's like the man when it comes to like plant-based teaching. So he was in Forks Over Knives. He's part of the whole Forks Over Knives franchise. I don't know if I don't know if he was like quoted or part of the China study. But, Esselstyn goes,
he was.
Was he? Yeah. Okay. So because it was him and
somebody named Campbell.
Campbell, that's right. So it's those two, right? So yeah, like this is big, like this is huge. And Joe, I know you know that like it's huge. So when you said that and you're like, would you be a co-host? I was like, are you freaking kidding me? Yes, of course I will. So I just want you to know that, so this is gonna be next Sunday on Sunday Fun Day, on Garden State Gardener, and that's Sunday the 12th. No, Sunday the
No.
19th.
19th, yeah.
Sunday the 19th. And so I am doing some serious homework to make sure that I ask some, great questions, making sure that I'm, very respectful of him and his work. And there's a lot of controversy among plant-based versus meat-based. I mean, so I'd love for him to talk about some of the controversy and, questions that people ask. So it'll be really cool. So to contrast that, I reached out to a good friend of mine who's actually a holistic cardiologist, he's more of a meat-based cardiologist. He's completely anti-plant-based, and he's going to be on my show tomorrow. So I think this will be a really interesting contrast to, Dr. Jack Wolfson, and I'm going to have him on tomorrow night on my Sunday Live. So it'll be a great contrast from, these two really brilliant minds who have forged paths in their own lanes. So tune in to my channel tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern, and then Joe, Garden State Gardener, next Sunday. So little plug for both of us there.
So this Sunday, tomorrow on Sunday Fun Day is Mary's Heirloom Seeds. And Tammy says, what type of shoe did you say you wear?
A6. Are you kidding? Okay. A6. A-S-I-C-S. A-S-I-C-S. A6. I wasn't sure if she was joking. Uncle Al, you're back.
There it is.
A6. There you go. Thank you. Thank you, Stephanie. Wolfson is a carnivore. Yes, he is. So you've heard of Jack Wolfson. So yeah, he's a good friend of mine. So that'll be interesting to.
It's going to be really interesting.
It's super
gonna be
exciting.
Great.
Yeah,
it's going to be great.
Yeah,
I bet you the Papua New Guinea study gets brought up.
You bet.
His ride canceled.
The Papua New Guinea thing from Eggleston. That's his study. That's what he based his whole forks over knives thing on. It was to study that he did in New Guinea, but it was like really, really small.
Yeah.
And it was totally different than, the diet of this country. And, for the most part, and their heart disease rate and so on and so forth. But I bet you that gets brought up. I remember reading that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, Gigs.
Pretty cool.
All right. I mean, I'm just hearing about all these other professionals. I've done a lot of studying and stuff and training and stuff, and I know a lot about my field, but I'm slowly learning about the medical health field, and hearing all these things just sound like my brain's overloaded.
That's a really exciting thing about this kind of stuff is you could have like two very well-known people, very educated people. Two people that are into research and they do studies and they do all these things in their entire life, and they're like so diametrically opposed.
And they both help people, right? When you think about which again, this is where I don't necessarily want to say I have a problem, but I question is that I don't think there's any one size fits all. And like, if you're taking somebody, let's say you're working with somebody who's like genetically Samoan, and you're going to tell them they need to be on a plant-based diet. Like, that's where I'm like, maybe somebody who lives more in a foraging environment and that's their genetic makeup, that might be more likely that the
genetic thing is huge.
Yeah. Like, just from a genetic perspective, we can't, that's where I just don't think that we can say it's a blanket, we should all be eating we should all be plant-based, period. I think we have to take people's genetics into account. And it's like, I get asked the question a lot, what's better for me? Should I eat paleo? Should I eat carnivore? Should I eat plant-based? Should I eat, keto's a big one. And I'm like, you got to find what works best for you. There is no one size fits all. And I'm not the girl that's going to wave the wand and go, you should do this, no, we got to find what works for you.
I've joked with people about the, plant-based versus carnivore and stuff. It's like, I believe in a plant-based carnivore, grass-fed beef with potatoes and broccoli.
Well, I'm with you. So, I've been talking about that Harvard study that came out recently that said you're 60% more likely to get type 2 diabetes if you eat meat. And I'm like, there was no quantifying the meat. And I'm like, okay, if you ask me if I ate a burger, yeah, I had 2 grass-fed burgers on top of a giant pile of greens. I made a giant salad tonight, and I had I poached chicken from a local farm that, just poached that in a pan and shredded that over my salad. So you've got, it's saying you eat meat. What's the qualification of that? You have to be able to define where that source comes from. And I'm with you. Like, I want a giant pile of vegetables with a giant pile of protein right on top, animal protein. I want animals.
Okay. I'm bringing something. I'm looking for a link I shared. There it is. Opening a new tab. I'm trying to remember who. Oh, it was Tammy at Rebel Canners did a video on this, and so I did the deep dive on what she was saying and tracked it down. The article she was reading earlier this week was from Central Michigan Life, the University Student's Voice, and it was by, where is it here? Laura Pocica, Pocica, a staffer for the Central Michigan Life. And she pulled off a study by the USDA about food deserts.
Yeah, I saw that video. That was a great video, Rebel. Is she still on?
Yeah, I'm not sure if she's still here.
That was a really good video. I watched that this morning, actually.
Yeah. So here is the link to the actual article she was reading. So I'll throw that out there. So that's the link to it if anybody wants to save that link and read it later. They're talking about, a food desert is, food deserts does not necessarily mean there's absolutely zero access to food, but it can mean a lack of nutritional value. Gee, McDonald's, Burger King, no nutritional value. Also, places that experience a food desert are also referred to as a food swamp. Use convenience stores and gas stations for their main source of calories. I bet.
Yeah, she was saying that there was a power outage or something happened, and she had to walk 2 miles to the gas station to get some eggs or something.
Yeah, exactly. That's right.
Yeah.
I would love to put both these doctors in a room together with this article.
Well, what was interesting was as I was having this conversation with Jack Wolfson today, and this was through Facebook Messenger, and he said, probably wouldn't be a great idea to have an interview with both of us, him and Esselstyn. He said something like, I don't think we'd get along very well, or
Yeah.
It would be interesting though. I think it would be great, frankly.
Oh, yeah. I do too. So, and I don't know if y'all are familiar with Dr. Joel Kahn. He's a plant-based cardiologist here in the Detroit area. So he and Wolfson, they're actually buddies. But if you follow both of them on social media, they're constantly going at each other. It's really great,
Also, they probably grew up together as friends and went both different ways, but they are friendly rivals.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. They have mad respect for each other, so it's very great.
Yeah.
And I told Jack, I said I want to talk about your backstory. You know, how did you go from indoctrinated medical doctor to holistic medical doctor, completely against the establishment? Like that had to be number one, what wakes you up from that? And number two, how frightening was it to try to make that transition? Because most of the doctors today they're like bought and they're owned by the hospitals. So they couldn't make a move if they wanted to.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious, like that story from him. So I'll be fleshing that out tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then I said, I want to talk about, like, let's talk about plant-based and meat-based. And personally, to your point, Gil, I'm like, yeah, if I don't eat animal protein, I don't feel well. Like I become ravenous. I control my hunger by eating animal protein. If I don't have it,
Yeah. My backup to animal protein is animal protein, cheese, dairy, dairy products.
Yeah.
It's comes from cows, but I would love to see these two talk about the food desert problem, and I bet it turns out to be like I can't think of the comedian's name. He's talking prior to 9/11. The Hispanics were picking on the blacks were picking on the Koreans were picking on the Jewish were picking on the But once 9/11 happened, it was like froze. It was like Wonder Twins, powers unite. And
yeah,
I bet that this might be a point where they come to a meeting of the mind. It's like, you got to have nutrition. You got to have some sort of nutrition.
Well, I think that's a great. Where did you find that article? Because I can't grab it here in the chat.
All right.
Do you want to email it to me?
Hang on a second here.
Because I'm compiling information, and Joe,
Okay.
I certainly don't want to hijack your interview.
Go to the bottom icon, private chat. You can pull it out of private chat.
Oh,
I put it in there so you guys can go and pull it from my private chat.
Got it. Okay. All right. Let me save that. Okay, that's great. That's great. Yeah, so I don't know if Joe has a plan for him, but I thought, well, I would compile some things and then
Uncle Al. The last time I was at McDonald's was a couple years ago, and that was only to take the grandkids there because they were getting out of control and they wanted a McDonald's cheeseburger.
I was
My favorite restaurant I used to go to.
Use the restroom. Yeah, exactly.
No, they didn't use the restroom, but they just wanted a cheeseburger on the way back from speech therapy. But my favorite restaurant I haven't gone to 8 years now, when they discontinued the Mexican pizza.
What was that?
Ding, 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 ding.
Taco Bell?
Mm-hmm.
I think I remember the Mexican pizza.
Oh, they finally brought it. There's been a push for years for them to bring it back. But
I used to love Taco Bell.
Yeah.
You look at that stuff and you go, I wouldn't eat it today because I don't want to disappoint myself in the memory of how good I thought it was. Right?
Yeah. When I was younger, my favorite thing from Taco Bell was the pint of beans with the mole sauce on it.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Man.
Oh my God. That was so good.
The pickles and cheese.
So
yeah. Who didn't love that? I wouldn't trust anybody that didn't love that.
That was so good. Yeah. And I will say that after I shifted away from eating the crap there, if I really needed something and I would get the beans with the mole sauce, like that, I'd just get that. Because I was like, okay, if I needed something on the go, I felt like that was probably an okay option. I'm a little afraid to even think what's in there, but probably wasn't the worst of anything. Just thinking.
Yeah. All right. My buddy Ron is here. Ron Netzel, also known as the Green Wizard. He has a book on Amazon called The Green Wizard's Guide about organic, getting along without the potassium, nitrogen, whatever, the NPK
Mm-hmm.
system. He mentions it right now and all its chemicals. And the guy is hilarious. He shows all the things he did wrong in starting the garden, and he does stuff. But he's really into, he and Howie. I love to get those two on here at the same time.
Yeah.
It's like both two forces coming for the same goal.
Does Ron have a channel?
Yes.
Oh, drop that link. Let's see
if I can.
That'd be great. Well, and the whole like plants aren't healthy. That's the whole oxalate issue we talked about, is that, people can't process the oxalates in the plants. And, we're getting more stones, and then, chronic headaches and autoimmune issues and Lyme-like symptoms.
But, oh, wow. All these guys came up with their own Green Wizard channels. Now, here we go. Finally found it. Here we go.
All right, drop it in the private chat then so I can pick it up.
I'll put it both.
Okay.
All right, there it is for everybody else. And private chat.
There it is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Coming in to subscribe.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
subscribing. There we go.
All right.
All right.
All right, Ron, you picked up another subscriber here.
Nice, Ron. Oh wait, which Ron?
Yeah.
Green Wizard or Ron Boggs?
No, I think it was a Green Wizard guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ron,
Like Ron, we're growing
yeah.
your channel too.
Yeah.
I don't have one.
Yeah.
I'm the color guy. Remember?
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right. You're the side what is it? The sidekick? No. Sorry.
Yeah. Ron's book he has on Amazon is, I got the one on the Kindle, and because we found out that unless you read all the way to hit the last page on there, even if it's blank, they don't pay the authors for Kindle sales. I've hit that last page about 4 or 5 times now, going through it.
That's amazing.
But his printed book now has blank pages in there to make notes from his videos.
Oh, that's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah. And so, hang on a second here. I got to put this up here. Come on, fat fingers. I can walk on a 2x4, but I can't type on a keyboard.
I had a patient come in last week, and I said she's in a very abusive marriage that she's getting out of, and I said, what are you doing for stress? She's not, she's moved into her own apartment. She's starting to, get her own life together, and she goes, I've been standing on nails. I go, what? So yeah, there's like these nail footbeds. Ron, do you know this?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I've never experienced it, but yeah, I've heard of it.
She said it's incredible, the emotional release she gets off of it. And I'm like, I'd cry too if I stood on nails, but okay. Like, but
I think there's a place that does it in Southfield. I'm not certain though.
Well, she just bought these footbeds on Amazon. And you can buy like beginner, intermediate and advanced. And like, you just stand on the footbeds
blunt and then super sharp.
Yeah. I'm like, what? Yeah.
But apparently, some people swear by it though.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm like, I wouldn't be opposed to it. I mean,
there we go. So
it's not that we all don't have emotional shit we need to purge out of our lives.
Isn't that true?
Yeah.
Right.
So this is Ron's book, and I know that one of my past hosts that used to be up here with me for years, Dave at Southern Ohio Prepping, has given away several of these books because he has it. He's reading it. Someone has to borrow it. He gives it to him, orders another one because he knows he's not getting it back.
That's great. I love that. I love a good gardening
yeah,
book.
there's the link to the Amazon link to it. Yeah, it's just absolutely funny, hilarious. I probably read it 3 times before I realized I had to go all the way to the very end of the last blank page to give him credit for it. But I have done that several times, and it's it's amazing. I mean, he has lots of videos to go with it, and he'll help you grow healthy food like Howie will. So your food is healthy, so you get healthy from your food.
Yeah, love it. That's great. All right, I just put it in my wish list. Perfect.
Yeah, I've noticed that a lot of our authors are doing like Ron did. They're pulling the Kindle one off the market, just going with the hard copy. Which if we get a quarantine effect CME, unless you're like me and you keep a spare Kindle in an EMP bag, ain't gonna be much use to you anyways. You're gonna need the hard copy.
I like paper. I like a book. I like the smell of it. I like the feel of it. I like turning pages.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's something satisfying about turning pages.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's true.
This is weird. The chat is not. Let me see. I'll go here. I'm looking at my channel and seeing. Yeah, that's weird. The chat stopped on my page. The video is still going.
Are you scrolled down all the way, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the chat stopped after I said Wolfson isn't strict carnivore. That was way up here.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Say anybody on Paula's chat, say hi. Let's see if it's working.
Yeah, have 2 tabs open. Run my channel and this one.
Yeah.
Let's see. I see Ron's. I said, love 90 Day Fiance. Ron said, you're welcome, Lori. And then I said, Wolfson isn't strict carnivore because somebody said something about Wolfson being strict carnivore. I'm like, no, he's not. It's Paul Saladino. I don't know if they're thinking of Paul Saladino. He's a strict carnivore.
Yeah.
And he's a little inflammatory. I like listening to him sometimes, and then sometimes I'm like, oh, Paul, you're like, it's just too much.
Yeah, Ron used to work in landscaping, so he used the NPK process, the chemical stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yet he stopped using it for his, and stuff. And Ron, who was it that got mad at you because he followed your advice and now he is having to mow twice a week because his lawn's so lush and just growing.
So this is where, Uncle Al said he posted something on my page. I didn't see it, but I just put there, I didn't see it on my page, but it popped up on my page. What I said popped up on my page.
Yeah.
So something must have changed in the settings.
It's all right. It was Jerry. Okay. Yeah.
That's interesting. Because the whole chat has been here the whole time on my page, but then it just stopped.
Check something here.
I don't know. Anywho, it is just about pumpkin time though.
Yeah.
It's starting to get an orange hue, I think.
This has been unbelievable. I can't believe it's been almost 3 hours.
Is that great?
Yeah,
It just goes by, right?
I thought we would go like
it
maybe
goes great.
60, 90 minutes. And then I just happened to look at my my phone clock over here, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's been 2.5 hours.
Time flies when you're having fun.
I guess.
I know, right? I know.
Okay. I see. All right. Mine should.
This is my social life.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, when things get
Saturday
going,
night, look what we're doing.
yeah, when things get going on a live chat, it like last night, it was dragging. It was dragging. I was like, okay, we're 35 minutes in, and then we hit a key topic. And next thing I look up, it's like, oh, it's quarter after.
Yeah.
And it's like, boom.
Yeah, when it is, it's like it starts slow, then it gains traction, and then the questions start coming in, and then it's like boom. Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes it takes off, and then we hit a lull.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, the right thing happens, and we just, things get exciting, and it just takes off. And those that dropped out missed it.
Missed it.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's
so,
okay.
Hang on. So right now, you're at 875 subscribers.
Okay, so I see your test chat.
Okay.
Comment. Yep.
Okay. So
which, by the way, I was at 877 yesterday.
Yeah, I know. And you were 876 this morning. So you're 875 now.
You're so kind to watch.
Which is funny because on which one was it here? Was it Camppatton or was it Green Man? Analytics. Let me look at my analytics. Okay. That went up. No, actually that went down. Gray Man went down a couple too. And Camppatton the other day dropped like 8 during the day.
Yeah.
And then I picked up 18, which put me at a positive 10 by the end of the day.
Yeah. So Diggs Outdoors says that's usually YouTube shenanigans. Mm-hmm. It's so crazy. And it happens over on Instagram too. I'll get like 30 new likes or subscribers or followers. And yet my subscriber number will continue to go down. I'm like, what is going on there? I don't even know.
Okay. My daughter's putting up an indoor garden, and the posts I gave her are too short. Let me tell her to cut them. Cut them. There we go. Yeah, she's doing it. She's doing the indoor garden over at her place across the street.
Nice.
So, he wanted the yard that suffers and won't grow to the yard that explodes. Trees finally produce fruit they haven't produced in 6 years. The key is everything from his book can be done in a weekend. Yeah.
Green Wizard. Hey, Green Wizard.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm incorporating Ron's stuff and Howie's stuff into the garden out here. And hopefully when I get this soil built up right, we'll have apricots that big, like we did when I was a little kid. So apricots we had when I was a little kid, those apricots came because the apricot roots got into the clay sewer pipe, had all the nutrients they wanted.
Well, and going back to Rebel Canner's video, and her big lesson.
He's on with his channel. He's on with his channel.
Oh, good.
So anyone that has a wrench, you can click on it and go to channel and check out Ron directly there too.
I can't from inside of StreamYard.
Yeah, you have to do it from
okay, so Green Wizard, I see you now on my channel.
Mm-hmm.
So see that that comment popped up. So I don't know why it stopped and then now it's coming back up.
YouTube shenanigans.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah. What's interesting on Camppatton Family Compound, let me hit the right tab here to bring it up. All right. I'm at least at the beginning of this live stream, I was at 4,867. And let me hit the see if I've changed any during it. I got multiple tabs. I do this to check it. Analytics. Hit refresh on analytics. And so I picked up 4 subscribers during this live stream on that. And at this rate, by Christmas, I will hit 5,000 subscribers, and I'll have a big giveaway.
Nice. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm hoping to get to 1,000 by the end of the year. So that's my goal. I should get there. Let's see where I'm.
You should pick up.
Well, I'm
I
at
would say
875. I picked up one.
Yeah. Well, I would
I was at
think that,
874 this morning.
yeah, after after the 19th on there with Joe,
Yeah.
I have a feeling you'll pick up at least 35 that night.
I think so too. Well, especially with Esselstyn, I think so.
Yeah. So
Bless you.
Thank you. I was like, wait, I thought I muted myself.
You did.
yeah, so Ron, the whole thing with YouTube and stuff is like when I started it, it was just my first videos were just picture slideshows that I put together so that my wife could see what I was doing up here working on stuff. And then I bought a little cheapo video camera, and then I started videoing it and putting stuff up there. And then people started commenting and subscribing. It's like, oh, I better do real content. And so I started, showing some of the, doing an actual project of, pruning the trees, the lilac bushes and stuff. And then I installed yard hydrants, and I showed how I was installing the yard hydrants and taking care of the 5 acres over there and getting the weeds all gone and brush hogging it, which is a big mower, and just mowing it down and disking it and, doing something, leveling it out, and doing all the work over there. And it just started moving. And then it really took off when I started going back to what I did for work, talking about emergency preparedness. And then I had to split the emergency preparedness away from the garden and farming because YouTube didn't want those two together for some reason.
Lori asked, "What's the best camera?" So sometimes just I use my cell phone when I'm out in the garden, and I do all my outside stuff. I just use my cell phone. It's the best.
I've been looking at getting a certain looking at several brands of cell phones, just without hooking them up to the phone, just as a camera. Some have some really good stuff, and when I'll find one has a big enough memory in it to do the videoing. But I like I took it out in the other room. I like my other little camera because I got a nice mic on it and stuff, and it worked pretty good at the city council meeting on Thursday night. But some of the guys, the big channels, Arms Family Homestead uses multiple ones. They have he'll film some of the stuff with his camera when he's walking around. You can tell he's holding on a stick. He's walking around. And the other ones, you see the tripod, which looks like a Nikon on there or a Sony, with a big microphone on it, and he's got it set up to do videos. And he's got another one that looks like a regular video camera. So, yes, absolutely. Now, I did a little deduction off of what you said I'm not sure it was on mine or it was on yours. When the topic of, this is going to be dangerous. I'm walking on the minefield right now. The topic of years of experience. I think you're either a year or a year and a half younger than my wife.
Me?
Mm-hmm. Because you mentioned a year, an age, and I go, wait a minute. So have you already had your birthday this year?
Yeah, September 18th.
Okay. What 18th?
September. It's
Okay.
actually the birth of chiropractic.
Okay, so that means, all right. So I know what year you were born now. Not going to say it. Which puts you, my wife, a year and 4 months. No, She's born in December, two quote years before you, but December and September. So that's the difference there. So I think it's like 60. She's 16 months older than you. I think. I'm
Your
not
wife?
sure. Maybe. Yeah.
What year?
65.
Okay, yeah, it was 66. So that's right. Yeah.
So. Yeah. So yeah, it's like
And that's hard to think about. I'm like, I do not feel like a 57-year-old woman. That is not. It's like surreal to even say that.
Yeah. Well, here's what's even more surreal. Thinking about it. I'm 8 years older than she is. My mom was 8 years older than my dad. My grandfather was 12 years older than his wife, and his father was 20 years older than his wife.
So there's a trend.
Now, my brother was a year younger than his wife. My sister was 2 years older than her husband. Nobody in around in any of the families, cousins and everything else, nobody is within a year, other than my brother, is within a year of their spouse. My brother was the closest one. My sister's 2 years older than her husband. So, I mean, and she was the second closest. Everybody else is, it's like, 3, 4, 8, years gap. And what was funny is my mom, who is older than my dad, outlived my dad by quite a few years. But that was because my dad, when he was 8 years old, got hooked on cigarettes.
Yeah.
And of course, it didn't help the fact that he was riding rodeo for 10 years. Yeah. And everybody in the rodeo smoked at that time, back in the late 40s and early 50s.
Yeah, it's the whole Marlboro Man thing, right?
Oh, yeah. He looked like the Marlboro Man. He was the quintessential cowboy. Top 10 in the rodeo for 10 years, all around cowboy.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. And then he got round butt disease. I think she got it. I think she got round butt disease. Couldn't stay in the saddle any longer.
Answering Lori's question about mushrooms, not edibles. I mean, not psychedelics. Mushrooms to eat. Incredibly healthy for you. They're like brain food. Yeah, Lori, she says, mother had a very hard life and lived on smokes and Pepsi.
Now, here's something to go on about smoking.
Like a Nina Blackwood.
My mom's.
I did 38.
Yeah.
Sorry.
My mom's mom, so maternal, on the maternal side, Granny lived to be 96, had 15 children that lived to adulthood, 13 boys and 2 girls. She smoked. Was not overweight, but she lived on a farm and she ate for the majority of her life, ate everything she grew, or grew everything she ate. So that's one of the things there. And what happened? Where did they go? Okay, she went for. I think they both went to grab something. What did you guys say in the side chat to chase them off? Okay, the last thing she said was mushrooms are incredibly healthy. But yeah, there's so when it comes to healthy eating, you can still have bad habits and live longer. Unfortunately, my dad's starting to set at age 8 smoking, And during the time he was rodeoing and stuff, up until the time he married my mom, his diet wasn't all that healthy. Any thoughts on psychedelic shrooms for PTSD? My cousin said that some of the stuff he tried to help him with it sometimes made it worse. So he basically gave him flashbacks that he did not want to see. So all mushroom chat. Yeah. And I bet he ate good stuff. He didn't eat fast foods, junk foods, or anything else like that, Lori. But yeah. So if your diet is healthy and you still do dumb stuff or work in a bad environment, you can still live a long time.
Well, I had a patient who, she said she ate well. She ate really well. She said she did. She had a lot of food allergies, so she really did need to scale back and eliminate a lot of things in her diet. But she continued to smoke a lot. And she's like, "Oh, it's my only vice." And I'm like, I'm sorry. If you tell me you eat you put a teaspoon of sugar in your coffee every morning, that's an only vice. But smoking's not an only vice. There is no good end to smoking, period.
Yeah.
And, you can have the cleanest diet in the world. But if you're smoking, like, it's a death wish.
Yeah.
I don't know enough about psychedelics to answer that. It actually is a really cool documentary though on Netflix by oh shoot, he's like the guy for mushrooms and Paul Stamets. Really, really incredible, incredibly knowledgeable when it comes to mushrooms, medicinals. He created the whole like medicinal mushroom movement. He's got a whole line of supplements made from mushrooms, and he did a documentary on just how incredible mushrooms are and how ancient they are, and how if we didn't have mushrooms, we probably wouldn't have life, which is really interesting to think about. Just what the depth that mushrooms grow and how they help feed everything out, feed and fuel everything else that they grow.
Yeah.
Ron, do you know anything about psychedelics?
Nobody knows not to grow peppers on his system for building your thing. They get too hot.
Oh no, I was talking to Dr. Ron.
Oh, Dr. Ron.
Yeah.
Very little. Very little.
I don't either. Yeah.
Yeah, like I mentioned while you guys were gone, my cousin said that he was over in Vietnam and came back and he tried different things to try to help PTSD. He said what he tried, some of the psychedelic stuff, made it worse because he said he was having flashbacks to there rather than getting the one effect, he got the reverse effect. So that's probably one of those things that's different with each person too, what sort of reaction you get. I'm trying to think who was one of the channels is growing mushrooms. The lion's mane indoors in a kit.
Yeah, you can do the lion's mane. I attempted to grow mushrooms in multiple places in my garden a few years ago, and it just did not turn out very well. But we did shiitakes and oysters on logs, and those turned out amazing. I definitely would like to do mushroom. Oh, they were so good. But lion's mane are like, oh my God, lion's mane is like so decadent. I love lion's mane mushrooms. Lori says the button mushroom. Well, Lori said something about puffballs. I don't find puffballs to be very flavorful. They're cool when you find them. But I feel like they get too soggy where like the lion's mane, the oysters, I put like butter and garlic in my cast iron skillet, and then you sear them and they get kind of crispy on the edges. And oh my God, they're just amazing. And they don't take on a lot of water.
Mushrooms take about a year once planted to start producing.
Yeah, so we did what's called drill and fill, cut down logs, and then you drill a hole, you put the spore in, the plug, cover it with wax, and then basically we threw them in the woods, and just let them. And you have to. We put logs, and then we put the logs that we had inoculated on top of the logs, so they were up off of the ground. And it was, they say 12 to 18 months, and it's definitely all of that. You're not getting much at about 12 months. It's probably more like 16 to 18 months before you start seeing like a shiitake or your oysters popping through. But once they start to fruit and then they continue to flush, then we got a couple of years out of them. Yeah. And it's pretty cool. Yeah. Go pick mushrooms.
Yeah. So Brenda has harvested her second flush of lion's mane yesterday.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Just mushrooms for me. The only type of mushrooms we ever had were like the type you get put on pepperoni pizza, on pizzas and whatever. We're always slimy, and it's a texture thing. It's just like, it's like, no, or in the ones in spaghetti sauce, in commercial spaghetti sauce, we're all like, ugh, no, I don't like the texture. I can't have it in my mouth. It took me a while to get over the sliminess of a piece of onion. But whereas I can't stand that. I love dumplings, and my wife loves onions and mushrooms, but she doesn't like dumplings because of the texture. She'll eat the top half of the dumpling when it's like dry like a biscuit. Bottom half, she passes it over to me. I don't cook mushrooms. This is stuff when I was a kid and stuff, and it's just one of those things. After 35 years of marriage, my wife won't even try to get me to touch a mushroom. If she cooks with it, she's done a very good job of running it through the Cuisinart, so it's so fine I can't I don't feel the texture of it. And that's what she did with onions. She said she started cooking with powdered onions and then granulated onions, and goes bigger and bigger. But she can only go so big. And it's like, okay, that's it's getting again.
Camping out. I just dropped a couple of links. So Field and Forest, and then fungi.com is Paul Stament's site. And those are the two sites that, and I actually went to a small farm conference and went to a workshop from Field and Forest, and I did tons of research on growing mushrooms. And those are the two companies that I had basically just gotten all my information from. And I have a pile of notes on how to grow mushrooms. I got a couple of books. I would love to get back into that. So,
okay. So, let me see if I that didn't go out to the other ones, did it? I'm looking out, see that going out to the other channels there. I only see the one to fungi.com. That's the only link I see that
I just dropped it in the chat. So I'll go up a little bit further. So there's fungi.com and then fieldforest.net.
There it is. I see it. Okay, I see it. All right.
Yeah.
Those did not go out to the channels on my side here.
So I just dropped it in our chat here in StreamYard. So it should have gone out, right?
It only dropped in once. It looked like it went to your channel. Because it has a little thing.
There's a little like lock thing above my like on my little name thumbnail.
Yeah, they went to your channel, not to the StreamYard channel.
Well, I wonder why. That's weird.
Hang on. I can pull that there. Okay, there's the one. And I can pull here.
Okay, there you go. Okay. Dehydrating my lion's mane and grinding it and adding to my coffee. That is a fabulous idea, except if I had fresh lion's mane, I would be thinly slicing that and frying that in butter and garlic. That is what I would be doing. My God.
All right, and there's the fungi one. So that should go out,
Okay,
and that's
go.
going out
Go.
to everybody. Yeah.
It's really weird that it's not.
But you type that in StreamYard itself.
Yeah, I dropped it right here in the StreamYard comments. Yeah.
Oh, down below in the comments, does it say all next to the comment box, or does it just,
That's why I have this little weird lock thing. I don't know what it means.
Because for me it says all destinations, which is the ones I'm broadcasting to.
Here, let me just go. Hey. No, it doesn't tell me. And that just says press enter to send. Okay, it is 11:20. This girl's got to go to bed.
All righty. Okay, and I need to fire off to everybody out here, let them know somebody coming up here. All right, so Monday on Camppatton Family Compound, also known as CFC. The topic on the Monday Night Fireside Chat, which is starting at 8 o'clock Eastern, is winter canning, and hopefully Tammy of Rebel Canners will be up there, and we'll talk about what type of foods and stuff do people usually that do canning in winter can. Tuesday back here on Gray Man Prepping starts at 10 o'clock Eastern is oil lamps, alternative fuels for emergencies. And I got a lot of information to put out on that from what I've been gathering from a video I put out 3 years ago, all the questions and stuff from that. So this is going to be a well-rounding of all the questions and stuff over the years from it. Thursday is the Midnight Ride, starts at midnight Eastern time here on Gray Man. Next Friday is on Camppatton Family Compound, 10 o'clock Eastern. What to do with leftovers, preparing for the Friday after Thanksgiving. All the ideas, recipes, and stuff. We're going to try to get a lot of recipes from everybody for what to do about leftovers. And then next Saturday here, for Survival Saturday, currently right now I got it set for emergency heat, and be what it may. That may change. It may depend on if those guys want to join me next week and do this again.
This is my social life. This is my social life.
So everybody in the chat, do you want us to bring these two back next week and have more fun and craziness? Or do you want me to talk about just emergency heat? Or we can talk about prepping and stuff too a little bit more.
All of it.
Yeah.
I want to do like growing sprouts and like what do we do? What do we do with our food for the winter?
Yeah.
And
Nick says my social life too. All right. Well, we'll be back here with everybody here and next Saturday, and but we'll have a start out topic of emergency heat, way to keep warm and stuff, which should probably take me about 20 minutes to cover, unless questions come up, then it can go longer. All right, everyone. Thank you for coming in. I want to thank Paula and Ron for coming up here. If you just about everybody that has a wrench can find out for it. If you if somebody quickly throw their Ron doesn't have. Ron, you need to start making videos.
Yes.
Something. Your garden, your house, your dog, your walks.
How about
somebody
thoughts on my
does
walk
videos.
with Ron? How about
Somebody does videos just of their walks when they go out, and they just have the camera and talk about whatever's comes to their mind as they're
Yes.
walking along and point stuff.
So what you need to do,
He
Ron.
has over 15,000 followers.
Come on. Yes. Right. And there's a tree and there's a squirrel. There it is. There it is.
There's the nutty neighbors who hear weird moaning sounds coming from their house. Oh yeah, that only happens at Halloween time. Yeah, okay.
Probably jujubes. We already know what jujube does to stay warm. So
All right, everyone. Thanks for coming,
All right.
and hopefully we'll see you Monday. Well, actually tomorrow at what time?
So my live is 6 p.m. I'm gonna have Jack Wolfson on. It's gonna be amazing.
That's Eastern time.
Eastern time, and then I'll be on then my live again next Sunday at 6 p.m. But then I'll be on at 7 with Garden State Gardener with Caldwell Esselstyn. Oh my God, crazy! And and then I guess maybe we'll be back here next Saturday. So it's all good.
All right, folks. Thanks for coming by,
right,
and
guys.
we will see you in a live stream somewhere.
Thanks everybody for your amazing questions. Appreciate you all being here.
Yeah. Thank you all.
See you guys.
And